happy Sunday to my lovers, saints, and sinners. I gotta speak to everyone because everyone has come, okay? Good morning, good morning, good morning. I woke up to fireworks, a big old burst of fireworks this morning. There was like a succession around, so I hurried up and I ran to the window so I can look. And I happened to catch a big old wish ball. You know, it looks just like the Epcot Center. And it looks just like those daisies that you catch in the lawn that are weeds, that we know as weeds, that we've been told as weeds, but we've always managed to grab one or two and blow. And we've always been told to make a wish. So, when I got up this morning, that's what I saw. I saw a wish. And I know all of us have a wish or two, but that's what I saw when I woke up, was a wish. It was like a burst. Boom! And I got up and I saw a wish. That was my first thing for this morning. Ah, another thing. It's crowded in here. Why is there a lot of traffic this morning? There's astro traffic. There's a lot of people up there manipulating the ethers this morning. Let's see. There's a lot of men. Oh my goodness. There's one crybaby. Well, several. But they may not be crying actual tears. It may be pride. It may be insecurity. It might be the mixture of two. But whatever it is, it's got to do with control. Being able to control. There's another slick one that thought he would got a fast one on me, but I was paying attention. See, I had the privy of sitting among some people, right? And they were from different. I actually came across a lot of military. There were some guys in some Jesus shirts. Uh, there was some outreaches that were going on yesterday. Shout out to Safe Streets, the ones who are still trying to keep up the same exact mission. You know, it's very hard keeping that type of balance. And, you know, for the most part, people do come out and they really want to do right for people. Even if they've made a few decisions that don't seem right in the background. I do understand. I get you. I get you. I get you. However, we're all accountable for whatever decision we make, whether or not we had great intentions. So you are responsible and accountable for whatever result did happen. When you, even if you got good results, there are still things that you are accountable for. So, everybody get in here, get in here. Happy Leo season. We are quickly approaching the halfway mark for Leo season. Seems like it just started last week, which is true, but it's going very, very fast. So let's do what we should do. There were some school giveaways. There were lots of giveaways, things being handed out, passed out, and everything. And hopefully you all got the chance to enjoy, get out to the festivities. There were things for the kids to do. There was a lot of opportunities for people to socialize and network yesterday. Okay, beautiful Saturday. Let's get these kids ready and prepared and mentally prepared for what they might go through this year. Let's also keep a bit of reality. We love to pep them up and give them hopes and dreams, but you also want them to be based in reality so that they don't get too much disappointment, okay? All right, all right. Hopefully everybody's feeling great this morning. There's going to be a bit of a trigger warning this morning. I'm going to go through some things that maybe all of us have been through at some point in time, but maybe not able to identify as red flag moments, boiling hot water moments, red alert moments, things of that nature, because this is the thing that we do when we are programmed and indoctrinated into our family unit and told this is the structure, this is who you love, this is who's dangerous, this is who's not dangerous. The thing about it is, when we teach that way, we are programming our kids to have a default button. Now, here's the thing. If you are not a, obviously, healthy and healed family, you will be indoctrinating things into your child that are most likely going to disappoint them later on in life. If they ever get a chance to watch anything when it comes to Hallmark, anything on the TV that even looks anything different than what your family presents, then you, my dear, are setting your child up for a lifetime of confusion, because they're always going to be referencing things against what they're really seeing in reality. So be careful with giving false illusions, okay? Most kids do well with the truth. Even as bad as the truth may be, most kids do better with the truth. Okay? All right, let's get into the Psalms because I got a few things to talk about. Maybe we'll get into the ethereal deck, because this is the deck I would like to use this morning, and maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just oracle today, and maybe we'll just talk about the life's events, because I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of people that have a lot of these situations in common. However, I'm dedicating this 1, 2, 3 to Ruti, Jennifer, and Kenneth Lawrence. I am memorialing for Grace. Her last name when she passed away was Emmanuel, but she was the Lawrence. And me, one of the pages in the book of Lawrence, I feel as though there were some things that were left unsaid. And those gone too soon, those who have experienced having family members go too soon and never really even understanding the dynamics which took them under, maybe this specific reading will help. Okay? All right. Don't say I didn't warn you. There might be a trigger or two. But it's healthy to self-reflect. And it's better to know the truth. Somebody knew when I got up this morning, the truth was going to be spoken in a way in which they had always feared. My truth, our truth, all 5 of us, myself, the 3 cousins that I mentioned, and the aunt that I'm going to memorialize, because she was the youngest of 3. Yeah, she took the same exact spot that I take right now today. She was the youngest of 3. I was the youngest of 3. And it's sad that the baby passed away under so much duress, under so much. It saddens me that a person I felt as though should have never been allowed to walk away happily from that situation was not only defended but protected and preserved, where those 4 people that I mentioned other than myself are no longer here with us, and they were much younger than that person. And when I go through this story, you'll understand. There was a lot of harvesting being done within that situation. And I will go through the details. Just give me a moment. I'm going to go through the Psalms. I'm going to break down the Psalms for you. And then we're going to go into the message. Repeat. Disclaimer. This is going to be triggering. If you have Stockholm Syndrome, if you are not able to sit and withstand a truth that is not yours, but it is a truth. It won't back up any lies. This is the truth. I say it's not your truth because you've never claimed it. You've never wanted it. but it is the truth. All right, let's get into it. See, so right now there's someone in my energy trying to stop me. Somebody wants me to shut up, go back to sleep, go let my house be dirty, never clean up, never brush my teeth, never wash my face. Somebody wants me to become either a mental case or just a vagrant. They want me to be in a state in where no one would believe my truth because they've been fighting against my truth, honestly, since I've been 12 years old. They've been fighting against my truth since I've been born. But it became very prevalent when I had a lot of truth to say. So let's get on with it. Woo! Psalms 83. I've read this before, but I haven't really broken it down the whole entire way in which I see it. You are welcome to break it down for yourselves, but right now this is my show. I'm going to let you know some things, all right? All right, let's go. Psalms 83. Keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Jabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot. Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Ithnor. They became as a dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeb, yea, all the princes of Zebah and Azamuna, who said, Let us take ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as a stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Jehovah, art the most high over all the earth. Amen. Selah. So be it. Say, let it be. So let it be. Ashe, ashe, ashe. So here in this book of Psalms, the 83. Now, a lot of times our ignorance would make us think that Israel is a state, that's a country, that's a place, that's the place where we're fighting the war. Let's be clear. When we are mentioning Israel, we are talking about the 12 tribes of Judah. The overview. We're talking about the big picture. See, the thing about the enemy knows how to break, dissect, and compartmentalize things. See, someone's fighting against these words. They know how to make things seem as one thing and not the other, because they know you won't do the research, you won't do your due diligence, because they put it in a book and they made the script hard to understand for a reason, so that if you were not determined to understand the script, you would not. And this is why comprehension is a must. Things were put in a way in which you could not nakedly understand them. Because if it were that easy, then everybody be on the same page by now. But that was not the task of the enemy to do. It's for us to put our own selves on the same page, however we make it. See, there are so many roads of travel for a reason, but if everyone has a common destination, it matters not how you got there, as long as you reach. And for a lot of us, there are a lot of people that did not want us to reach our goals. They did not want us to reach our climax. They did not want us to climb the stairway of heaven. They wanted to hide it behind a curtain, have access to it, and charge us for the hope that we might see it. Am I making myself clear? Okay. So, as you remember the 12 tribes of Judah, you have to also understand that there were people and nations put against us from the very beginning. As above, so below. And as we know, there was a pushback with the angels called Lucifer. And he did sequester some support. And that support left with him. So you have to understand they came to destroy. They came to dishevel. They came to confuse. They came to recruit. So you have to be very careful with what groups you fall into, and you also have to be careful with yourself. Some people are not being destroyed and tortured by other people. They are being consumed by their own deeds, by their own words, by their own steps. However, it is very easy to look one way or the other and point and place blame, because most people will not admit to you that they are their own demise. Only a truthful person will tell you, I am hurting me. I am doing something that does not serve my purpose. I chose this. I picked this. Before I do any other thing, this is what I consciously already agreed to in my mind. When I lay down, I dream of making this decision, and I know it is not right. Only a truthful person will tell you, will come and bear that. And one might think that a person is weak for being able to say a thing as that. But you have to understand that there is a strength and living with your truth unashamed and unabashedly, not saying that you should go about the city, go about the town, go about the world, brandishing it like a shiny metal just because you are able to be honest about it. All it says is that you are not willing to let another's judgment hold you down where God is all. Okay, so in Psalms 83, this is basically support system for Psalms. I'm going to believe it's 106. Psalms 106. So if you were ever to read Psalms 106, it would actually give you the details about the nations in which were going to gaslight us, which were assigned to gaslight us back into our father's land. Because for some of us, we hit the road, we opened our eyes and started to worship what we could see, not realizing the thing that we couldn't see would be the greatest force in our lives. Blind faith. So, if you were indoctrinated into a family who knows the truth yet does not speak the truth or does not live the truth, then that is indoctrination. Other than that, maybe you have been born into a beautiful family and that would be wonderful. But for a lot of us, we have an unknown thing, an unspoken thing called Stockholm Syndrome, where we repeatedly return back to the spaces in which hurt us only because they are familiar and we know the way. We don't know the address nor the details, but we know the way. We know what it looks like. We know what it feels like when we pull up on that familiar place, even though it does nothing to further our existence. Some of us voluntarily return back to the place that tore us apart. And because it's not so blatant, we say it's family. Because it's not so blatant, it's friendship. Because it's not so blatant, y'all co-workers. And you have to understand about returning back to places that hurt you. It gives a signal that says that you like it. It gives a signal that says that you're okay with it. It gives a signal. It gives a positive affirmation where there is nothing but a negative existence. Hopefully I've made myself clear and this helps. So 83 is supported by 106. You can find the details of 83 over in Psalms 106. See, you don't even have to reference me. I gave you a source and a reference, and I gave you the answer right then and there. 83, go over to 106, okay? All right. That being said, Ashe, Ashe, Selah, and so let it be. It also, I wanted to also point out that thing about Lot. Ashur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Remember what was said of Lot's wife. If she should turn back, she would turn into a pillar of salt. So you can only imagine what happened with Lot's children. They were torn between the two. And you have to understand, when parents do have to separate, children will suffer. But you also have to remember, we only do what's familiar to us only because we haven't learned quite so far as to how to get out of it. And that falls on the teachers, that falls on the parents, that falls on the eldest, that falls on the elders. If no one is there to teach you forward, then surely at some point they have to be held responsible for their part. Let not them take credit for one side and not the other. For life is whole and life is full. And some people just full of it. All right. Whew. All right, happy Sunday to all who just got in here or all who's just sitting. You can go ahead and tag whoever you need to tag. Let them know because we're about to start. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee because we're going to be talking for a little bit. It's been a little warm. It's been a little hot. Hopefully everybody's been able to get out there and get some things done. Yard work, what have you. Cleaning, always cleansing is spring cleaning, fall cleaning, winter cleaning, all the time cleaning. Got to keep up your spiritual hygiene. Got to keep yourself together. Got to make sure you're paying attention to what you're taking in, what you're listening to, what you're reading. You know, things of that nature. Get yourself outside in the sun. Get you some great old vitamin D and vitamin C and vitamin E and A. All those things matter. Become one with them. We did get a new element on the periodic table. I think it's called tennessine. And there was an African-American scientist that came up with it. So shout out to her for her contribution to the world. This is what I'm talking about. We're on the next crux of things. So we need new inventors, new creators, new leaders, new people to welcome into the creation of us, our reality, okay? And we're learning how not to put famous people on unrealistic pedestals, or at least stay out of their personal business, okay? I've always tried to stay out of their personal business because it matters not to me, especially when you know that once they stop performing, once they get off the stage, once they take off their uniform, they're still a regular person. Even when they're in that uniform, when they're on the stage, when they're behind their stage name, they're still just in a uniform. They're still a human and wrapped in a uniform. They still have feelings. They still get worried. You wouldn't believe the most confident looking star is worried about little old you. But they can't tell you that because they are the star. So a lot of times we give our power away to these people because they happen to be in a environment or a platform or somewhere where we can't reach, and we give them a little bit too much. I'm not saying don't give them their credit, because it does take a lot of bravery to get up there and be vulnerable and have millions and millions judging you every millisecond. It takes a lot to have paparazzi following you around, trying to take pictures of you sitting on the crapper, okay? So shout out to those people, but what I don't do is pedestalize them, because The same way they go up, the same way they can go down. But I do appreciate them. I love them for the inspiration. I love them for what they try to be as role models. Even though we're starting to realize that in some people's personal lives, there are no role models, okay? So that's maybe about to change because we're realizing that our kids, once your kid starts to idolize someone outside of the home and it's not you, now you've got to worry about who this person is. You still have to worry about who you are to the kid, but now you've got to wonder who your child is following and what they do and all that stuff. So a lot of times it is good right now. It's the best time right now to be as nosy as possible when it comes to your children. If they live in your home and they're on your taxes, I don't care how old they are. If they're in college and they're still on your taxes, you need to be as nosy as possible, okay? Let's not drop that, okay? Let's not drop the shoe, book, whatever you want to call it. Let's not drop that because you need to be as nosy as possible, but you also need to be as respectful as possible while you're going through the process of teaching your child transparency. Transparency is not a reason to attack said children. It's teach every moment is a teaching moment. You can tell by some of the people in the chat that my truth is about to rock this world, okay? So, like I said at the beginning of this video, they need my word to not be the truth. However, that's what they need. I've never needed to lie to anyone because my perspective is I'm grown. What she gonna do about it? There are only a few things that you can do about it that I'm very aware of. And I've accepted my reality every day and every time with you guys pursuing me, trying to do things to me, coming on the chat, trying to confuse the situation, trying to make me feel less confident. And I don't know how you're going to do that. I'm a Cisco. What the hell? So with that being said, let's get on with it. And by the way, this is another reason why I never took my ex-husband's last name, is because his name didn't stand for shit. He didn't even like his name. And I know my dad, I know my family, and I love my last name. However that might be, however tumultuous and controversial that might sound to other people, I love all of me, both good and bad. I love all my parts. I love the parts that I survived the most because I remember every last bit of it. And I also remember that feeling when I got through it. So pardon me for not letting you rain on my damn parade. I actually woke up to fireworks. Ain't God good? Yeah. Okay. So, with that, let me get started. Now, I used to live a place up Greenspring called Strathmore. Strathmore Apartments. That's like in Jewish Town, right? Okay. I was going there. I was living there with my mom. It was just the two of us. And there was a situation. I was coming up as a teen. There was a lot of confusion going on about me because I was growing up around people who really weren't trying to hear me, but I was very convenient. I was conveniently the little sister to take out your things on when you wanted to act tough around your friends. I was consistently the person who you blamed, who didn't know what you were blaming them about, but I would walk in the room right at the right time with these big old eyes like, huh? And you say, Lexi, you did it. And I'd be like, oh, and and that happened, that happened to me. And now that I am a big old adult, I can say what I want. And pardon me if the people who did these things to me and around me get upset and come out of a bag because I told my truth. But you understand, I had to tell my truth when I realized that I was trying to be imprisoned by their lies because they needed me to stay small. But I grew up and I'm a big person myself and I have children. One in which they've told so many lies to, this boy does not know if he's coming or going because he has a very distorted picture of his mom. And I'm not going to say that part of him didn't accept it because he was indoctrinated into something that I was indoctrinated into. A whole family full of fronters, fakers, and big mistakers. And this is why my 3 cousins aren't here today, even though they were young. Kenneth wasn't that old. Kenneth was only a year older than my big brother. Well, my brother on my mother's side. Jennifer wasn't that old. Jennifer still had life in her. However, it was sucked out of her because she had to fight 3 wars at the same time. Herself, her past, and her family. My cousin Ruchi was a born prodigy. I would have rather be left with her than Sherry. They protected Sherry because they knew her ass was slow. She doesn't like it, I don't care. But before you put your mouth on me, please understood that I tried to protect your slow ass when you decided that you was going to make a man that, 40 years old, your first baby father. I pleaded with you. And what did your mother do? She said that I was the encouragement, but I would have never told you to sleep with no sickle cell disease ass, old ass man at that age and make kids. You did that because you told yourself, you decided that you were the smartest one in a house full of people that were derelicts. You felt like you were better than them because you had a mother and a father. However, you were running away from said mother and father to be in that dirty ass house with them. I came and joined you at that house to keep you safe. And because I didn't want to be at the house that I was at because I wasn't safe. So before you start harping up stories, be sure I'm not going to tell the truth. Let's get with it. Okay? All right. So, when you went and fetched Christian from over in Trinidad, you did the same exact thing that Grace did. You went and you exported a pedophile from the villages of Trinidad. You went and you collected a vagabond. The reason why his body looked so good was because he was barely freaking eating. Some people look fit because they ain't got no other choice to. They ain't got enough to get fat. When you came back enamored from this man after you'd basically made me stay at my aunt's house and everybody else's house as you kept going back and shopping for a new husband because the Jamaican Percival went back to his wife, and I'm pretty sure she probably walked up on your ass in the blue one of those days. So now you have to go and get your own man because running around as the bougie one that you were doing wasn't going to work over here with these Jamaican chicks because they was going to get you. So after Percival, you decided to go and shop for one of your own. And you came back with one of the worst. On his first night with me by myself, you went to work at the night shift. For some reason, I felt some kind of way about this strange man who you just paid for to come over to Americas by way of supporting his green card and all this other bull crap. You paid to get that man over here with me and left me in the house one of his first nights in America. I should have not been there with him by myself. He was a man, a strange man. something that you've probably purported that I did to my children, even though this is what you did to me. The morning you came in from that night shift, I had the dresser pushed up against the door. Yes, that wooden dresser with all those mirrors. There were 22 mirrors on me at almost at all times because I was born around that set. You kept me encased in mirrors for years. I pushed that mirror, the long dresser, up against the door so that that man couldn't come in that house, that room easily up in that apartment. And exactly 3 hours after you went to work, he pushed that door. And he was pissed. I don't know what pictures, I don't know what you said to that man to convince him to marry you. Maybe you showed him your daughters. This is what I used to look like back in my heyday. Because this is what a lot of our mothers do. Some do it consciously, some do it unconsciously. They just are so good, wants to show how their genes did develop, not knowing that you are basically waving temptation in front of a man's face. But whatever you did, you made that man feel very, very confident with trying to come into that room. And when you came in that morning, and you asked me why the dresser was still pushed up against that door, I told you. And what did you do? You didn't stay and talk to me. You didn't ask me how I felt. You didn't send that man away. You went and you said, do you know she got the audacity to have her dresser pushed up against the door? She grown. This, that, and the third. I'm listening to my own supposed parent tell a man, a stranger, on me. You didn't call my father. You didn't tell my father. You threatened me. You told me don't tell my father lest he be put in jail. And I kept it to myself because I love my father. And I didn't want to see my father leave because that meant I would be still left with you. So I kept your damn secret to my demise because that gave you a chance to paint me as the wrongest person in the world. And it didn't stop there with him. You see, when you let a pedophile or someone who wants to abuse your child get away with the first lie, of course, when you let them shenan, they're going to shenan again. That day after you did that, I plotted with Leroy. To get rid of him. But then I talked to God about it. And I said, you know what? As long as she stay away from me, I'm going to let her have that husband, but I'm running away. And I ran away as many times as I could, and you threatened each time for me to be returned. Because that would mess with your child support, your money, your way of living, and the way you saw yourself and the way that I made you look. You having a smart child on an honor roll who liked to dress nice, who would always very feminine, you liked what I made you look like. Even though it was in my genes to be that way, my father bought me my first pair of heels, not you. You did something way worse to me at the age of 9. You did something to me way before I experienced Kenny. You were the first one to do that to me because you wanted me to be violated by my father. But my father was always a God-fearing man. And when you came and you saw that he hadn't did anything, you tried to do it yourself. By way of tampon. Because you didn't believe me. You said, Lexi, are you a virgin? And I said, yes, Mom, I've never been touched. And you proceeded to roughly do that to me because my menses had started. And you couldn't believe that no one had did that to me yet because it had already happened to you and you never got a chance to tell your story. But I'm still alive. I won't be a Ruth, I won't be a Jenny, and I won't be a Kenny. I'm still alive. You were the first one to affect me when it came to that. So things came after. I don't know what you put on that thing that you brought, that tampon, because why would you, at your daughter's first sight of menses, bring something so brutal to me? And this is why when I heard Maria tell Shari that you can only have tampons if you're married, knowing in my memory that my mother tried to shove something up me that did not have a place for it, I knew something was wrong with you. Yet I had to keep coming back because you were doing something to my father that made him feel as though he was going to be in trouble if he didn't bring me back to you. Eventually, I had to run away from my father to escape you. And this is how I ended up at that house at 516. You think I wanted to pay? I was paying rent as a teenager in the bottom of Peggy's house. I brought my own bed, my own TV, because my father, at some point, he realized that if he let me stay there, my mother would not keep threatening him. So as long as he knew where I was, he let me stay there. So it's not that I wasn't paying attention to the things. It's just that you weren't letting things be said because you always had your mouth prepared to tell enough lies to cover your tail. Because what did I learn from you is CYA. Cover your ass. That is your creed. You live by that. So anywho, after Strathmore, I left. I started running away with Leroy. I started being everywhere that I could be that wasn't with you. I remember even a short stint with Wayne Ziegler. I packed my bag, my little Voight bag, whatever it was, and I got up out of there. And I ran into Zena. And she told me about a master blaster. I was so young and I was learning from all of these different adults who couldn't wait to fill my head with adult things. Either way, it wasn't your house where I had to do adult things. But told to be stay in a child's place. You must clean, you must cook, you must do this, but you better not say nothing to me lest you're going to get punished. I jack you up. I beat you like a woman in the street. Because that's how you always saw me. As soon as I developed, I was your competition, much like your first daughter. But you had already successfully told me that she was bipolar, something I'd never ever sat there and tried to harp on or tried to ignite or tried to trigger. You remember that day when you said, oh, don't worry about your sister. She bipolar. Just look out for her. I remember when you kept trying to push adult responsibilities on me. Yet you want me to stay in a child's place. I'm the baby, but you want me to take care of people 8 and 9 years older than me. And you got them looking at me like I'm just some goddamn power pack. They pick me up to get recharged and they put me back down and then tell, oh, that's just my little sister. Oh, she makes great potato salad. You were never a brother to me. Who knows where the fuck you were? The little bit of gangster that you tried to play, it never quite went well between you, Tony, and Kenny. Kenny and Tony were the best out of the three of you. Your mother kept sending you off because you were not the strongest. I believe that maybe you felt the kind of way because the only person you had as a father figure was Granddaddy, and Granddaddy was a heck of a man. So a lot of situations I can't judge because I wasn't specifically there, but I do know that he played the part of your father. But my sister and myself, we had our own fathers. So that's 3. How can a woman with 3 baby fathers that allowed her husband to try to get fresh with both her daughters speak anything ill towards me? Yes, because she already got ahead of it by telling her peoples, her clique, her crew, oh, nothing's wrong with my son. He's just over there studying. I sent him over here. Something's wrong with the girls. Never once realizing that we have to be a reflection of you at some point in time. So if something's wrong with the girls, hi girl. I told you you were pulling a Grace. And you got upset because you did the same exact thing Grace did when she went over and she got Winston and allowed Winston to destroy Ruthie, allowed Winston to destroy Kenny, and allowed Winston to definitely destroy Jennifer. Remember, you did the same thing with Jennifer. Oh, take care of your sisters and your brothers, but you're still a child. You're still not allowed to say anything. You're still not allowed to speak out of turn, but you have to take on adult responsibilities. That is so confusing to a child. Especially when you're Bible thumping and you're culture washing at the same time. You're still trying to keep people quiet because you want to be ready and you want to look good and you want to be the best at the fete. How dare people not come to your cookouts? How dare people not come to your parties? So you had to get your popularity up because to you, being a socialite was the climax of everything. You had to be in the best of the parties, the best of the limes, right? You needed to be involved in the elitist group that you all have created from the Caribbean community. Let's speak about it. How both sisters exported 2 pedophiles into their families and then told their families, don't say anything because I don't want to be embarrassed for the man that I picked and paid for to come and sponsored to come. Yes, you paid for the torturers. And you wonder why they got so bold after you continuously victimized your children and criminalized your children in exchange to keep a man who was destroying their purity. That wasn't the first time Christian tried me. I never slept with this man, and I think this is the story that she keeps running around telling people in order to garner some type of attention, some type of guilt, some type of guilt trip she wants me to be under. But I'm going to tell the truth. I never slept with that man. I never touched that man. I never been attracted to that man. I don't like that man. That man lies on me. That man made that woman think that I stole her gold necklace when I had my own hanging on my chest. That woman made that I don't know if it was him and Patsy that got together and ordered a whole Dell computer system. But why, if I'm so smart and I'm already Americanized, why in the hell would I order a computer system and send it to the very same address in which I stole it from? Yeah, that's what he did. I don't know if he ordered it for a new girlfriend, for his sister, for his kids, for Patsy. I don't know where that Dell computer thing came from, but he blamed it on me. And as soon as he said it, I wasn't even thought of. It was like I was told to go shut up. As even though you wanted money for rent, even though you wanted money for this, that, and the third, I was told to go shut up because you wanted to believe your husband. The same one who I caught at Burger King who damn near bust the damn tire trying to run because he was on a date at Burger King when I pulled up behind him with my date. Oh, and let's not talk about the next time when you and I guess you and Uncle Nigel were going out to BJ's or Sam's Club, and he suggested right after I'd had Jermaine. Jermaine was a couple, maybe a year or two old, 3, maybe 4, and y'all suggested that you take Jermaine with y'all to the store and leave me by myself in the house with Christian. You would think me having a baby father, you would think me having a child to protect, you would not ask me that, but you asked me if you would allow me to let you give me oral that day when they went out, and I said, hell no. And I'm pretty sure when you got back, he told you some crazy story, but it's no sense in talking to either one of you because you two together are going to stay in holy union of downing my reputation. Him because castrating you, he's castrated you sexually. Every time you think about the fact that that man is attracted to your daughters, you don't feel so sexy. So you allow this man to go because you don't want to go back on your mistake. You paid for a mistake to come here and destroy your children, but it makes you look good. You don't care. So many times this man has lied on me, and so many times his word has been taken, and then you've got your ugly friends coming in my face looking at me and grabbing onto their pale looking destroyed husbands that they've battered and abused. And I'm looking at all of you like you're sick. I remember the day you turned Patsy into a straight criminal. She did it herself, of course. I watched this crazy woman beat her husband with her child. And I wondered why. I didn't say somebody was wrong. I wondered why a woman and a child would rightfully beat a man in public. See, this is what you like. You like strife. And you went in to told me all their business. You told me about the gambling and the houses lost and this, that, and third. And then you went on a whole campaign saying that she stole your Trina Turk bathing suit. And it was believable because after witnessing such a thing, you would think that everybody else is worse too. You told me when that girl's father or stepfather tried her, and that's the same thing that happened with Miss Antoine. That's the same thing that happened with the rest of the daughters. All of their fathers, their stepfathers, and everyone would come over, and the first thing they would do would try y'all daughters. And what did y'all do? Let them. You never got divorced. You never left the man. Some of y'all beat the man, but you stayed. No matter how many times you get horn, every time you catch somebody in the car, when you catch somebody in your bed, you catch somebody in the house. I remember you called me to the house and you said, who's he sending his mail to? He's sending his mail somewhere. He got that large settlement and now his mail is going somewhere else. And you called me and gave me the address, and I was willing to champion you. And you still go against me now. Even when he was cheating on you with somebody in South Baltimore and redirecting the address, you had me looking up and being a sleuth and everything. But really, I should have ignored you because what you was going to do? You wasn't going to leave. You were just going to blame it on me somehow conveniently. Congratulations. I am the glue that keeps you together. You can't say nothing because then he'll tell your friends that you're a fucking liar and a thief because you've definitely taken the money from Keisha and then told me she was bipolar so that I wouldn't champion for her, and then you turned around and did the same switcheroo. You told that crazy ass girl that I was really the crazy person and then did the whole switcheroo that way. Either way, you are responsible for trying to attack us both mentally. You did succeed on her end because she actually had the gene in her from her bloodline. Me, not so much. I was not supposed to be touched. By way of my father's mother and your mother, because between the two of them, they prayed for me. There were certain people that prayed for me, and I thank God they prayed for me because the whole time you were praying on me. Ruthie was a child prodigy. Y'all signed some government papers for her to be tested on the same way y'all signed some papers for me to be tested on. You let her be pursued. You let her go up in that mountain off of North Bend, whatever that village, that children's village was up at North Bend. You know what I'm talking about, right there. Going up that hill, around from North Bend, that children's place that was up that hill. Y'all signed that paper and she ran away from there because she said y'all kept medicating her and she couldn't deal with it. She couldn't tolerate the side effects that the medicine was giving her. Then when Jenny came, Jenny had already had children. So I'm pretty sure she couldn't protect her little sister. And y'all knew it. So what did y'all do? Because Ruthie ran away to me and my father's house. And she stayed with me. So what did y'all do? Y'all sent people. I seen that guy. What, last year, 2 years? The same guy who was around when Ruthie came up unalive. I remember faces more than names. And that's what happened. Y'all gave up Ruthie, and Jennifer had no other choice because she had too many kids. There's another name I won't speak because I haven't figured that all the way out yet because some things were done and I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure that he had a bad part to play in it, even though we don't know how he was leveraged either, or if he was even leveraged at all. But this is something for me to figure out. But I'll keep that one to myself. But Butter knows what happened. Whatever stripper it was that was with Jennifer at that time knows what happened to Ruthie. And what did you guys do conveniently? You blamed me. You said, oh, she was with Lexi. Lexi did this. How? When I was the younger, I was the youngest out of the 3 girl cousins. It was myself, it was Sherry, and it was myself, Sherry, and then Ruth. Ruth was the oldest out of all 3 of us, but Ruth knew to come to me. Because Sherry would tell and turn you in. She was already indoctrinated and slow. I remember when Maria pushed me into adulthood by telling me about what was going on with George. And then after a while, I realized that's where Jeffrey came from. And now I understand why Jeffrey had to go. Because Maria doesn't like to be made to look stupid. And neither does Annette. But that's why Grace is gone. Because she didn't want to look stupid for bringing Winston over and allowing him to destroy the first kids that she had while trying to pedestalize the last 2 kids. But either way, still abusing them mentally because we had to watch Kissy Fern. We had to watch Big Fish and Amos and Andy because we weren't allowed to watch any other thing because you wanted to control that, because if we were to actually learn both sides of things, we would understand what was happening. Me, myself, my mother didn't go to church, so she chose voodoo. She chose occult knowledge to make sure that my intuition was blocked so it looked like I was carefree, but not really. So that I could look at everybody else the same, but when it came to family, there was something that would shut down for me. You did that. That was some great work, but it's over. When I went to get my CDLs, Kenny was helping me. He was teaching me, even though we shared that embarrassing moment to where you weren't saving me and you were basically leveraging him. As long as he was helping you pay the bills and making you feel good about whatever happened to Daryl, Kenny was okay. As long as Kenny made sure that he lifted up his aunt and she was on a pedal stool and she got all the extra money that he could give Kenny was going to be picked over Michael. Kenny was going to be picked over me. Kenny was going to be picked over everybody. But you see, Kenny messed up. When I called Kenny and I talked to him, when I met up with him and I talked to him and I forgave him for what had happened, because my mother was not going to save me. My mother has never saved me. Kenny was trying to right things with the money that he was making because he knew something was wrong. We both came from a broken house. His home was broken, so he was sent to our home, and because he knew what Winston was doing to his sisters, he tried to do it to us. And this is why I know my sister set Jennifer up for that to rape. Jennifer was never lying to you. If Jennifer ever told you that my sister set her up, she did. The same way she set me up when she got with Chucky. Donnie was supposed to attack me. However, I made Donnie my boyfriend, and she didn't like that because Donnie made sure I had the best bundles ever. So then she told Donnie that I was a whore, but I wasn't a whore. I just liked nice things, and I would be gone shopping all day. So I'd come back, and this man wanted to put his hands on me only because you wanted us to have matching black eyes. If Chucky was whooping your ass, then surely I'd let Donnie, but I don't play that shit. My father didn't hit me. Too bad your father thought he was Bruce Leroy, so he kicked both our asses when he had to babysit us. Why in the fuck would your mother let your father beat me? Surely your father wasn't supposed to be beating you either, as crazy as his ass was. But you have some punk ass brothers who talk a lot of shit. I'll bust him in the head. I'll bust him in the head. Well, why is Winston alive? And your sister is dead. If y'all was really about that business. I have a problem with the pedophiles being protected just because they can pay a bill or two. So that means that you traffic the females to the males who have no discipline, all because you want to look good, all smoke and mirrors. What did you say to me? CYA, cover your ass. So it made sense. So when I was almost finished my CDL and Kenny was going to help me, we were going to change this family trajectory, and you didn't like that because that meant that there would be two of the ones under you that you basically tried to keep under you going up above you, and especially not me because you'd already started robbing me from young. So for him to help me get in the right position would mean that you would become exposed. So you had to get rid of the real golden child, because let's be honest, you never felt like any of your children were golden children unless they agreed to take care of you. And you had no real confidence in your son. This is why you put Kenny before your own son. And this is why he's still a jealous, excuse my language, bitch to this day. He's always been in competition with Kenneth. You are no Kenny. Even with the sin that he committed, I forgave him because he was broken and I was trying, and somebody was actively trying to destroy me. The same woman who got married to the same man who tried to try me on several times, why would you get married to him 2 days after my birthday? Why would your anniversary be 2 days after my birthday if you weren't trying to gaslight me? If you weren't try to put me to the side for your own upkeep. See, you always want the attention on you. This is why you would go and get lost on trips. You weren't lost, you idiot. I knew that. You just didn't like that everybody else was getting attention. So every time you weren't the object of affection, you would get lost and then you would cry like a fucking idiot. And I thought you were really crazy for that because I'm like, ain't that the same cry I used to have when you would do me in such a way? Seems like you would do my things to get attention. You still do. So when Kenny started coming back into the fold, and then I realized that he had basically put me in a position with my niece to where she felt as though she was superseding me. I realized that there was an issue there. Especially since I was owed more loyalty than my own niece, and then I realized that there was a different hierarchy there. That man was leveraged against. You told him that he cannot give me any good treatment in front of you, lest you would do something to him. And this is the dynamic. My niece was never my niece. My niece was being trained to be me. And I'm so glad her little long horse face ass starting to look just like her father and not like me. Because you was trying to will it that way. She's not me. She's just willing to get her hands dirty and go to jail for validation. Does not matter your education. If you're a freaking criminal, if you're a sociopath, if you're a psychopath, it does not matter what tax bracket you're in. It's going to come out eventually. And for some of you, you got addicted to something. And I'm not talking Uggs. I'm talking money. You got addicted to the lifestyle. You got addicted to the attention. And when you felt as though that was going to be snatched away from you, you got desperate. So when Kenny started coming up and making all that money and he started trying to get close to me, you knew that something was going to be fixed, repaired, and broken. You knew whatever you did was going to be broken and repaired. So the day that my cousin with no moving violations came to Baltimore and had alcohol and then had a fender bender that night in his BMW and his Beamer, something was amiss. You started to break him down and get him in low energy so that he could be susceptible to what you was going to do next. Because you knew that Kenny was talking to me more. He was calling me, he was coaching me, he was telling me what to do. I remember my cousin telling me that when it comes to accidents in your CDL, as long as you can make tire marks, as long as you hit the brake and something comes out of the mist because of how much damage that can be done by a tractor trailer, you're supposed to try your best to hit the brake and then keep power forwarding. So when you went out of your way to call me and tell me that my cousin died in a tractor trailer accident and then proceeded to describe what happened, I knew it wasn't him. Because he just told me that you don't come out of the way because somebody is out of control in front of you as a truck driver. You attempt to press the brakes to stop. And if you can't, you power through and you pull to the side and you give your statement. I believe at that point he was already going low because he had a traffic violation. He had started going through things right after that traffic violation. My cousin don't be drinking when he know he got to drive because he's a truck driver and he done it for years. He started Bimmerfest. He was doing car clubs. He was doing things. Someone stole his equipment. All these things happened in succession because you needed his energy low enough for him to be susceptible to that car accident. And when it happened in front of him, and he saved the person in the truck instead of saving himself, the only thing I can be sure that he said to himself is, my daughter okay, which is the daughter that got left as an orphan because Ruti was taken from us, which conveniently the blame got placed on me. The same way Shari's 6, 7 kids, however many kids she got blamed on me. He took control of that child and he made sure that the prodigy did come up in our family. He did that, and he made sure his wife was good. But when I went over to the details, even his wife will tell you, I didn't cry when I came to the house and met her at the house. I told her to take her money and run because something wasn't right in that room. The people who I seen crying about my cousin's death wasn't the people who should have been crying. My brother's wife was crying heavily. She's a whore. The fuck you crying for? You cheating on my brother cheating on you. Y'all sitting there crying. Nigga, you jealous of my brother. You jealous. I would have claimed Kenny as my brother before you. You were jealous of Kenny. Why were you crying? You were crying because you needed it to look good. I saw you, Jennifer. I saw you, Sky. I saw you, Mike. I saw you, Christian. I saw you, Annette. I saw you, Latrice. All y'all was crying for all different reasons. You left your scapegoat gone, your money man gone, your wingman gone, and your side piece was gone. Everybody in that room was crying for a different reason. Sharon was in the room barely crying. She had tears, but that was her husband, and she knew her husband had did her right. When I went in the room to talk to Sharon, I said, Sharon, take your money and run. I don't know what the hell is going on. And she could testify to that if she could tell the truth. But that's what I said. Even Uncle Nigel with his lying ass self. The man can do two things, cook and lie. Oh, Kenny had some money for me. Your mother had some money for me. This one had some money for me. And if you don't, he gonna lie on you to anybody who listen. As long as he feel like you might help him out, a lie will happen. And that's when it all hit me. I've been picking up. I've been letting them stay over. I've been doing all sorts of things for a family who was already trained to push me to the side, because if they were ever to embrace me, they would be punished. They would be pushed out of the pity pocket. Even though they wasn't getting nothing to live upon, they was getting just enough to stay loyal to the family. Oh, you can bring all 50 of your kids to the cookout. But if you don't, I'm going to tell the whole city you're a whore. And I'm going to be believed because everybody comes here to eat. I throw the biggest parties. I wear the best stuff, not even telling them that the reason why you wear the best stuff is because you've extorted. You've stolen, you've embezzled, you've lied. You had people pretending they were me to go into financial institutions to take things from me that you didn't want me to know about because you knew you didn't want me around. I was just there for the benefit. All you needed was the doubt. Tell a true spare lie. Tell how you got all these people trying to fight your battle that your coward ass couldn't fight. And that's why when the last time I spoke to your son and he called me out of the blue, you mean to tell me I had to wait till 42 years for your ugly ass to try to come over my house talking about some, let's say, we should get to know. No, the fuck we shouldn't. You had all this time to try to get to know me. You wait until all these people pass away and now all of a sudden, let's get to know one another. Take your own ass out. I don't know if that was a man that was pregnant in your apartment or that was a transvestite. I don't know what that was. I asked your mother, was she pregnant? She said, no, she's not pregnant. When you tried to feed me that spaghetti and I remade it and you got mad because I remade it because I was like, well, I don't know what's in it. And you got mad because I added all that stuff to it. You were like, why you adding all that stuff to it? I'm glad. I might have killed that spell word that was in it. Now that I know your mother's a fucking spaghetti witch and a rice wench. She can't cook for me never again. Ever again. It was funny how you took my son when he came home from that one trip, from coming home. You were pissed when we went to Paris Island because you never made it to your son's graduation when he graduated from the academy. You didn't give a fuck because you didn't give a fuck when I graduated because Keisha never graduated from no fucking place. So you didn't care. So now that you got all your children triangulated against each other, here you want to go playing the Hunger Games because you really plan to take everybody money. And that's what I told you, son, last time. I said, oh, you trust your mother when it come to money? I don't. Get the fuck out my house. And whatever your daggone granddaughter did, hopefully she really ain't running around trying to play like me and try to steal my book contract because she is the currency person, right? She the money currency person, right? So maybe she is the one that made that deal overseas with my book. That's still my book. She didn't write shit and she don't look like me. Yeah, it's enough makeup. Yeah, it's enough weaves, but it ain't no other me. I made the mistake of sending her my contract to go over, believing that I would still have a piece of family member in her, and she dogged me out. So no, I don't fuck with none of them. None of y'all and none of your kids. When I turned around and seen Trayvon, weak ass, I was pissed. Because you let your dog ass baby mother get my information. She already beating you and destroying your kids to hell. You got a nerve to send the winch at me because you ain't a man? Third generation punk. It never bothered you that your uncle didn't take any fucking interest in you until he could get something out of you. And then the minute he got something out of you, he decided to try to destroy your future and put leverage over you while he cleaned up his image. What the hell was you doing over there in the jail, over there in Queen Anne's County, over there in Dorchester, over there across the bridge, over there in Kent? Because you surely came back acting like you was the man. Who did you hook up? Who did you talk to who told you that they was going to help you do this bullshit you trying to do over here? Because I saw that look you gave me when y'all decided that I was no longer useful for y'all and y'all had to get rid of me. I remember when Aunt Ruth came up and you told her to read me because she was something of a psychic. But you tell everybody else you don't believe in shit like that. Yet here I am in front of a whole relative I've never met before, who my brother recently told me he was in Trinidad visiting. So you know I know he was over there paying for Shango because him and his wife had already previously given me two $500 bills from Puerto Rico. You don't believe I knew it was hexed? Same way I found a blue goddamn bottle, a blue candle under my sink. You want to tell me why you told my son to put spell work under my sink? Under my floorboards? You want to tell me why you was giving him stuff to put in my food? You want to tell me why you was telling him to collect my clothes and bring you some every so often, make sure I wore it before? You didn't think I was pissed when I took that jammer in front of the judge and her and the bailiff sat there and looked at me and looked at each other and said, do you know what it is? And at the moment, I didn't know what it was, but that was a jammer. You had a jammer in my house the same way the neighbors got jammers to try to jam my shit. I have nothing to lose by telling the truth because y'all done told so many lies and tried to take so much from me. You got agencies looking at me like I'm crazy, though I help plenty of people. I've taken care of plenty of families. I've done so with good faith, never lying, never stealing. But you've always been in my footsteps trying to mess up my reputation because you knew what your end game was. You were going to take me out for whatever somebody left me. When Lois Cole was going to leave me that house on Hunt Drive, you did something to where they didn't. So many people plan to leave me a lot of things. I would have never had to live this strife. But you decided you were going to run around and push the buttons of so many people, lying to them. Oh, she slept with my husband. I would never sleep with somebody who's actively running around this city sleeping with everybody. Tell them how you caught him, how your brother caught him in the house with June, with his pants down. Tell a true spare lie. Then you had Tracy and Sandra, and all these other weirdos running around with my name in their mouth. They whore and all the same, talking about some. Oh, you can just blame it on Alexis. Her mother will vouch for us because her mother don't like us. So we can talk about her all we want. That's what you whores did. But let me tell the truth about y'all. I'm not a stripper. I tried it once, and when I seen that your ass was actually going crazy for just a couple of folding dollars, I said I would never do that. I got more brain in my head than to stay naked. So I was fine with letting you go to Shakubas and making your money and watching your back. But I didn't know you was trying to traffic me because you damn sure couldn't get me on that pole again. But you took fat ass Teresa because her daggone self-esteem was crazy. And you knew Tracy didn't give a shit. Tracy was just trying to be better than what the fuck her mother was. So of course they don't mind spreading lies. And then Annette Presley with her old ass talk about something. You owe me. I don't owe you shit. Because you went and ran your damn mouth. You should have had loyalty to yourself. You disrespected yourself. I could never disrespect you the way you disrespected yourself. Y'all done told me things that I've never repeated to people. But of course, when Sandra decided that she was going to try to take the boyfriend that I knew was just a boyfriend, even at the age of 67, I knew he was just a damn boyfriend. Because he was everybody's boyfriend, including his boyfriend's boyfriend. So when you took him, I knew I couldn't take him back because you eat ass and I don't eat ass. And then he really freaked me out because when I looked at all of the activity, I said, this man is going to have a disease very soon. And I already felt that about my ex-husband. So why would I keep up with people that have horrible sexual hygiene? Knowing that I used to work in an AIDS unit, knowing that I actually got taught by somebody who actually was diagnosed with it and had to live through it. Why would I put myself through that and the stigma that comes with it when I know how another person that I knew in my life got treated? Bye. I'm come here because of Ruthie, Jennifer, Kenny, and Grace Lawrence. In all honesty, all four of them should still be here. I don't know why Winston's still here. Because if y'all could go that hard on innocent people to get them unalived, then surely there shouldn't be no more pedophiles, no more abusers. But I guess the abusers make the world go round because they're willing to go to work. They don't have to interact with as many people as the females do. Because females usually go into the hospitality. They're usually the face. And you can hide abusers behind walls and behind concrete and behind all these different works. As long as they never speak to anybody or talk to anybody, they could just keep their head down and you could just make sure that some of their money comes to you. And you'll keep them out of the limelight by getting rid of the people who they actually destroyed. Because you put it in such a way that the people that they actually destroyed, if they're not monetarily getting you no money, you don't want them around. Especially if they're going to tell what you do. Well, hello. Good morning. The red carpet has been rolled out for the truth. And here we are. Whoever Alvin Cobbs is, you can go in and leave all the way. You don't have to put messages and take them back. Just leave. I don't want anybody here that doesn't want to be here. I don't hold you hostage. I would never. I would never. And this is the issue, is that there's too many things that happen. There are too many events that I can't deny that made me who I am today. That's what pushed me into books. I stopped talking to people because I realized people weren't listening to me to understand me. They were listening to me to see what they could take back and gain money from. Because I guess they were getting paid to give information that made me look the way you wanted me to look. So then it became a formidable thing. It became an actual career to follow me around, poking holes in all of my foundations, going into my banks, going into my jobs, going into schools, going into any institutional building I would ever actually enter, using my social security number ever so boldly, destroying HIPAA and all those privacy acts because you told yourself that everything was okay as long as you CYA. Cover your ass. By way of my money, by way of my inheritance, did you tell them that you got this wonderful husband just to make sure my father died and you're still getting his money? You don't give me anything. You're trying to put me in poverty right along with my ex-husband. You told him don't take care of his child because you need me in a low vibration so that your work can work. When I felt that tug, that pull one day when I was laying on my back in bed, I said, yeah, we can't do this here. We're not doing this here. He already was a sad, dark individual. I met him as an atheist, and it was so no wonder that he went in front of the priest when we had to do marriage counseling. He was willing to play the part, a long part, but he didn't tell people that he was only marrying me so that he could take care of him and his mother, and maybe Sanja, because she was going to help him fraud everybody else. So, of course, those two were going to help. And then there's Kim Thomas, who I'm not even sure he's related to. She looked like she could be his cousin, his sister. She looks like a first. She looks like a first string of something because they shared a last name, the same last name. But they went to Puerto Rico as husband and wife to go and do some spell work on me by your direction while we were still married. See, that's the type of ex-husband I had. He was closer to my mom than me because she helped him cheat and steal from me while we were married. That's why when we got divorced and he had no house, a couple months later, he had a house. Want to know why? Because he was losing all control, and my mother needed him to still be involved because she knew she was up Schitt's Creek. That woman looked at me on Thanksgiving Day and told me I hadn't written a book that I'd spent over 4 years publishing. And when I look back and realized that he brought me a computer so that I could transfer my work over to that computer so that he could try to steal my intellectual property. Because my mother told him so. You can have sex with any woman in here. I'm not telling my daughter anything. You got to do your part for me. When I think about how I left Terry, even though it wasn't the best relationship, it surely wasn't Douglas. And he surely wasn't under the control of my mother quite just yet. But then there's Turk. And then there's that money that he's got to have because he wanted to be bigger than anything, because he didn't want Terry to be the heir of anything. That stuff was supposed to go to Terry. Between myself and Terry, we weren't supposed to be in any situation. I would have never moved to this neighborhood had I still had my union, my holy union, that you destroyed. You and Turk destroyed it together because y'all was money hungry and short together. A man with a little one and a woman with a little one syndrome. Always got to try to be grandiose. Even with nothing, I still woke up like an aristocrat. Even when you tried to take every single thing, when you had the dumbass bitch next door walking past my house, talk about she ain't out in the cold yet, she ain't out on the curb yet, I'm gonna make this bitch starve, I'm gonna make this bitch hurt, I'm gonna put her kids in CPS while she still got her little dusty kids trailing by her and her. Yes, I heard everything. I see all the people you paid to move around me and steal my mail and send you informations and screenshots. Yes, I remember when Calandra bought her daggone fruitless hairless ass, oh, boneless hair ass over here thinking she was buying my loyalty so that her cousin can put me on some damn life insurance policy so that they can have another opa across the bridge in Delaware on Obama Lane because you told yourself you had to collect all the money from all four of the horsemen. I paid attention because he told me, he said, Lexi, pay attention. What the hell she putting in them white pies and why she ain't never been married? Because it's kissing cousins and kids over there in agreements with life insurance. Because that's the new human trafficking. Get married, make a kid, keep a step kid, keep a step kid, kid-in-law, alienate them, put a life insurance policy on them, keep them away from you while you lie, make excuses for why they stand away from you, and boom. Nobody asks no questions when they come up dead. I don't know. That's the way they live their life. And now I've answered a lot of questions. Pardon me, I told you that there had to be a trigger warning. So all in all, a lot of you ran around this city. A lot of you knew it was a lie that y'all was helping to keep alive. But you did it anyway because money. You all got in line for the slice of a devil's pie against an innocent person, a person who probably had saved you at some point in time, either by word or by deed, even by suggestion, because I've always gone around and suggested and taught and told and pivoted other people's minds and ways and where it worked and they liked it and they got from it, they gained from it. So a lot of you knew you were lying and some of you didn't. That doesn't make you innocent because you're grown and you have a free will. And research is right there, just like a book. And a lot of you don't read books. And I'm like a book. So intimidating I must be. I must look like a novel. I must look like the Britannica. You know, the books you dumb people fix chairs and tables with. You know, the thing you prop your kids up on when they're not tall enough. That's what I must look like to you. A very useful Encyclopedia Britannica. Something to say that you have in your house, but something you've never fucking picked up and read. Something that you won't even dust off. But you can brag that you had a set in your house. Isn't it marvelous how some of our parents have gathered some of the most expensive things in the house for you not to touch? So that everybody thinks that they live a perfect life while they're perfectly not doing the best they can for you. But don't you dare let a hair get out of place lest somebody ask me what the hell is going on. Don't you cry while these people are around. Don't you talk about anything while these people are around because you're going to make me look like I look. How dare you? I went through 3 layers of makeup to look innocent. Last thing I need you to do is wiping my face clean with the truth. Somebody say, neighbor. Neighbor, you're looking kind of ugly now. So you have to understand the angles in which things will happen in family dynamics. No, I don't think I'm very special to that degree. I believe that there are so many people who have been buried under their families' need for social echelon, for social climbing. Sure, there are a lot of kids, a lot of us who have been left by the wayside all because somebody wanted to look good. They didn't want to be good. Somebody wanted to stay married to a person who actually should be under the jail. But they pay half the bills, so you have to go. Oh, you've got bills? They don't matter as long as my reputation is on the line. Oh, you've got a heart? Well, we've got to break it because I don't want my heart broken by people finding out that I make broken hearts out of lies. Pardon me while I step on your marriage to preserve mine. Pardon me while I step on your life. Because I have none. I'm going to stalk you for the rest of my life to make sure you don't compromise my life. Now, what kind of life is that? I was seeking out all kinds of beautiful females to see if anyone else had your sauce, but I couldn't. So instead of me copy off of one of my friends would have looked a little bit more normal, I just decided that I would just snatch my daughter's whole likeness and just get rid of her. Because there's no other signal like her, so if I hide her long enough, nobody will ever know she exists. And this is why a lot of men that I've met would say, I've never seen nothing like you. And I'd be like, damn, I've always lived here. It was only beneficial for you to find me out after you knew what the game was. They would only let you see me after they've already fucked up my reputation. And then, yeah, go on over there. Because you've already got preconceived notions. And for some of you, you got paid. Or you got some coochie. You got some girl to come over and she might have been attractive. Hey, you see that girl? Don't mess with her. I am the girl to mess with. Not knowing that you're sleeping with the whore of Babylon. Because they don't ever want you to come in contact with an angel. Because you might stay there and live life and be good. And might actually have someone who is exactly what you dreamed about. Because God forbid you get somebody who you dreamed about. My ex-husband can tell you about that. That's why he's fighting you so hard. Because he knows I'm the thing of songs. I'm the thing of dreams. I'm the things that they write about in books. But nobody knows what that looks like. Because you've already been indoctrinated to the big blue eyes and the blonde hair or the light skin and the high ass. So me, I've already been told that I'm just so different. I remember when I used to put on the American Dream, and the way that the American Dream would actually describe his whole thing, I was that. I was that. I still am. And this is why I always say that I am love, because I am the very picture, all of the fantasies. I'm all that wrapped into one, but you were never supposed to meet me. I am indeed the unicorn. But now I've had to sharpen my horn because piercing has to happen. Unicorns can't have rounded ends anymore. We can't have safety tips anymore. We have to arm ourselves because it is not enough. It's a double-edged sword to be beautiful, you know. People don't like when you go beyond being beautiful when all you were supposed to be was a piece. You were supposed to just be a trophy. So I was okay as long as I was okay being a trophy. As long as I wanted to be a pretty pocket, I was safe. But when I decided that I didn't want to live under the constraints of you, I didn't want to live under the eye of you, you called yourself, you were like the eye of Saruman. Your eye was everywhere. You were calling everybody. Oh, somebody live across the alley, call them too. Give them $10, $20, whatever it'll take. Give them whatever it'll take to get this information off of her because we got to get her to go. I mean, they went very high. I mean, this woman actually went to become an election judge so that she could get into those people's because they seemed to have the right marketing for her to get into because she needed higher ups. Oh, she's a social climber. So when I saw that she was trying to cozy up and she was actually more in favor of the men who were giving me pissed off looks when I came to go vote at Ashburton. Because I was wondering why all the people in Ashburton were already giving me preconceived looks when I'd never laid eyes on a lot of them. So when I was leaving from there because I was visiting and doing my thing and doing my work and taking care of my child, when you asked me to go and fetch you lunch like a fucking dog, and I told you no, you went in there and you cried, oh, my daughter, and they took up for you because you told them I was a bitch. You didn't tell them what you did to me because you'd never admit that because nobody'd ever do anything for you ever again. Or they would. Who knows? Depending on what side they land on. Either way, you went about for all my life making me out to be something I never was while you pretended to be something you never could be. Which was a nurturing mother. You aren't supposed to be a mother. You're a closeted dyke, okay? I'm going to tell you that. And so is your little funny looking daughter. This is why she starts to cozy up to women and it gets a bit fucking awkward when they always got a man to go to. And next thing you know, she's talking shit about them. Oh, that nigga ain't shit. Well, bitch, you ain't got no dick and a lot of these women are straight. You missed your chance with Angel, but you got a Bible thumping mother. So you beat yourself to be straight. You're a fucking weirdo. I know myself. I experimented. I know I don't like coochie. I know enough to know I don't like it. You would never admit that. So you run around telling people bullshit that you know nothing about because you've been running around trying to get approval that's never going to come because the bitch already told me you was crazy and she told you I was crazy. So you see where that went, right? Your soulmate was Angel. Sucks to know that I know that, right? Doesn't it? That's why you didn't mind pulling Don Rowe away from me, especially after Don. I was laughing because you know what? You actually sat there, you call yourself one of the damn Christians, and Shari's so stupid, and she don't realize you was laughing at her when your best friend Don Rowe whipped her ass. Because only a slow person would marry Andy with all them fucking kids. And you went and you lied to Don Rowe because Don was supposed to come and help me babysit Alex while I was building things. But you and your mother have always conveniently removed my safety nets or my support systems because you've always wanted me to not have anything. Even when I helped you try to raise your damn kids. Your kids still have more respect for me than you. But because they know that they need money, help, and assistance from you, they're going to dog me out because you're their mother. I wish my son had had that loyalty, but his father had already gotten into him because his father needs somebody to live off of. And it damn sure won't be me. Every time that man felt like he was going to love me, he would give me an Indian burn while I was pregnant. Like I would actively see that man as soon as he felt like he was going to fall in love with me, he would do something mean to me because he was instructed not to treat me right. That's how I had a baby father over here slinging everything in the world, but never giving me anything, running around sucking the life out of Joey and everybody else, but never wanting to give me extra. I never got child support for my first child. I worked through it. So when I got to my second child, you said, oh, I'm going to make this much worse. Because like I said, my life was supposed to be your currency. My life was never supposed to be lived out for me. And I jumped off that train and you got pissed. You malignant narcissist, you. In a way, I feel like the unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Unbreakable. She's alive, damn it. It's a miracle. Unbreakable. She's alive, damn it, because females are strong as hell. So, this is a special episode. It really was. It was very clearing for me, cleansing for me, actually. Because I've always wanted people to know that I would never touch your husband. And you always wanted people to think that I would. Especially when you were telling me all the business between Jamie and Clint and Patsy and Roberta and all that other kind of stuff. The only crew I've ever tampered with was Slammer. And I thought that was just trifling when I found out what he was willing, what he did right before he got married. But other than that, all of the rest of your friends were just looking at me weird because you and Christian had made some damn weird dynamic. I won't leave you if you don't tell. I won't leave you if you don't tell. That's why he has a cheat, a whole free pass to cheat, because he has all your. I mean, he would have to tell that he really never had sex with me, but the very thought is in the back of his head, and he keeps that because that keeps you castrated. You can't feel really sexual like that. But what does make you feel sexual is your bloodlust, the fact that you can actually try to put your foot on my neck. That makes you feel good and powerful. So maybe you did start inviting somebody else in there in that bed so that they could keep your marriage together. Who freaking knows? Because you've done so much. I don't put nothing past you at all. Because why would you marry a man who tried me? And then why would you go about and tell people that I slept with him? And why would he let you tell people I slept with him? Because there's a power dynamic in that lie. That lie binds y'all together. The lie about me, the way y'all treated me in that house, bonded y'all together. Now that I've excused myself from y'all sorry excuse for a marriage, keep fucking hope alive. Black power. Any fucking way. Let's get over to the tarot. I want to heat my coffee up. Hold up. Oh man, there's a lot of food. All right. So, we got the Ethereal Tarot here. And yes, I'm going to do it just like I ain't just say all that shit because guess what? It ain't news to me. It's news to you. And I think that's how the reporters do at Channel 45 and 11 and all that stuff. I think because they've already read the story, pre-read the story prior to signing on, that it takes a little bit of the shock value out so that they can seamlessly transfer from one story to the next. Because I always used to wonder how they would tell some really horrible news and then go right back to smiling. And now I've done it so many times that, yeah, I think I'm ready for the camera. All right, let me grab my coffee. The bottom of the deck is the well. Oh, boy. Isn't that an omen? The bottom of the deck is a well. A lot of us, what do we associate a well with? With a wish. We associate a well with a natural water source. And we also associate a well with deepness. Water, deep. Resource, wish, manifestation, deep manifestation, feeling. So somebody's rolling in the deep right now. Now, whether they're in the south node or the north node, we don't know. But there's deep, deep feeling. There are deep, deep wishes. There's somebody right now probably closing their eyes wishing they can freaking disappear off of the earth. Don't know, not there. But there's somebody who's wishing. But there are others that are deeply wishing. Some are deeply hoping that some things blow by fast. Somebody's hoping something is resolved fast. Somebody has a very, very deep wish. They're in their emotions. You see how they're on this cliff? Somebody's on a cliff of emotions. By the well. So there's a wish and a manifestation, but there's definitely somebody on a cliff. It's like they're on a hanger, a bender. Maybe somebody's on a bender. Somebody missing in your family who's gone on like a 2-day, 3-day bender. Benders aren't always as illicit drugs and things. Sometimes benders are just people just going on love benders. When you have an avoidant who's doesn't want to take responsibility for what's happening, they might go pick up a prostitute or a gigolo, or they might go to the casino, or they might hit a bar, or they just might get missing for a couple of days and go on a bender. Might go on an eating binge, who knows? But somebody's on a bender. Somebody's doing something a lot, while they're on this bender. So whatever cliff they're on, They're indulging. They're heavy indulgence in whatever it is. It's destructive once it becomes more than what's usual. Even if it isn't Uggs. You understand what I'm saying? All right. Maybe even shopping. Somebody might go on a shopping bender. They might go on a computer binge. Anything. Somebody's on an emotional binge. Whatever it is, the thing that's making them do it is their emotions and their lack of control. So they use something to discipline. No, not discipline. Excuse me. Something to distract the intense emotions that they're feeling. Okay? All right. Coming right back, and then we're going to pick a zodiac, and then we're going to go from there. All right? Okay, let's go. Put this stuff back in the microwave. Ah, dang, it smells like a whole grill in here. We had some grilled burgers yesterday. It's and like, you know, when you get grill food, it just makes the whole area smell like grill. But I like the smell. Sounds like he's up. All right, so that was the beginning of the tarot, the well, and I think that was 148 was the timestamp with the top start the tarot. In case anybody wanted to just start from the tarot, the timestamp is 148. I'm actually going to put that in the down in the description so that people know that 148 is for the tarot, just in case they want to skip that whole thing, because it is very triggering. Okay, all right, ookie dookie. 148 is what I was thinking. Okay, 148. All right, the well came back out again. Somebody's really deep, and the way Alex just woke up, he actually woke up. So he feels a lot. He's very sensitive. So a lot of times, sometimes I can gauge Alex's mood, and somebody's actually really projecting something over here. They can't project it to me, so sometimes it hits Alex before he transmute that thing, and boom, they got their thing back. Okay, so the well is still out here. And we've got the Emperor, which is 4. So there's a big bad wolf that's finding out that he's a damn sheep. 9 of Swords. So there's a lot. Somebody's not sleeping. Somebody's losing sleep. Somebody's tossing and turning. They're worried about what went through. They're worried about what happened. Yeah, somebody's definitely... This is not okay. Somebody's not okay. They're not okay with anything that's happening right now. They're on a binge right now. They're on a binge. Maybe they're contacting people. They're calling people back to back. I can't. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to, you know, they might be on a strategy binge. Who knows? But somebody's trying their best to get through. They're not getting a lot of sleep. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of hopelessness. Okay. This person looks like they're at a crossroads, and you see the entities in the room pulling. See, when you get to a low vibration like that, unbeknownst to your naked eye, these things start showing up. And this is why I believe that campaign was going against my cousin Kenny, because how do you go all this time without getting a driving violation with perfect this, that, the third, being safe, being always kept out of harm's way, and the next thing you know, things start happening in succession? That's because once you get to this type of situation, that's when these start to they start picking you out. Who's going to attack? You see how they pointing at her? Well, I want her. Somebody else is going to get her. Sadness. Look. Sadness, grief, lust, abandonment, bare minimum, lack. All that can get into you when you get low enough. When you get on that clearance rack, you're open to all sorts of things. And I believe that's exactly how they were able to attack the Emperor, which was Kenny. So now there's emperors left, not one, but more. I count 4, at least 4. Nope, I see 5, 6. I see 6 things in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the Emperor is 4. There's at least 6 men that are doing a lot to distract themselves that things didn't go the way that they wanted them to go. Someone's drinking, someone's thinking, someone's overeating. Someone's doing both. I'll wait a second. Someone's gambling, someone's overeating, someone's not getting any sleep because they're doing everything to distract themselves. Someone's probably gathering women, having orgies, swinging, doing all sorts of unnatural things with their body because things are not natural in a natural order that they set them in. Some people are used to getting their ways, they're used to delegating and then things being executed. Nothing told them that things wouldn't go their way this way. This is an area that they haven't been in before. Some people have never experienced defeat, so pardon them as they adjust. Some people usually, when they say that it's going to happen, they mean it, and it does happen. It's just unfortunately, this time around, it didn't happen the way that they wanted it to happen. So there are some people who are coming out of a bag right now because they're used to things going their way and not the other way around, and they gotta adjust. They've got to wrap their heads around it. So somebody's reality is being changed. So far, I've got a 4 and a 9. And a 4 and a 9 does what? 10, 11, 12, 13, which is a death and a transformation. Somebody's going through a death and a transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody is going through a death and a transformation. And the only reason why I didn't count the well is because the well is not included in most tarot decks. The ethereal deck is an extended deck. So I like to stick to the ones that everybody knows because everybody can read the common cards. I've already told you what was going to happen. I already told you what was happening. This is right. The thing about it is I won't include a card that's extra because I don't want to throw it off because we have people that like to prove points through tangibles. Is that understood? Okay. All right. So this is what we have here. The Emperor and the Nine of Swords. That is Aries. I forget what the Nine of Swords is in the other cards. Let me see. The Nine of Swords is Gemini. Oh. So we got Aries and Gemini. There's either a Gemini male, a two-faced male, someone with multiple personalities, multiple males that's basically stuck. And the Nine of Swords, they weren't able to leverage things the way that they usually do. Whatever they used to do when it comes to me does not work anymore. So there is a lot of disappointment. All right, so let's get through this, okay? So we started off in Aries. We're going to start with Aries. Aries is running disappointment at a crossroads right now. If you're a North Node Aries, if you're a North Node Aries, somebody's losing sleep over the fact that they can no longer control you. And that is the message. Death and transformation, which is 13. And 13 transforms into 4. Somebody's foundation is about to unravel as someone else's is about to come into fruition because they are no longer distracted by the enemies that were sent in to create illusions in your life, okay? Now we got the Queen of Swords right at the bottom of the deck. I love the ethereal deck, but it does nothing for lightning, okay? It has like these fair colors, okay? So not Queen of Swords means you're nurturing, but you're unbiased, and people don't even know that in a swift minute, you can go from handing a person a cookie, a biscuit, or anything to handing them their walking papers, to cutting them off. Here's your pink slip, sir. Okay, so now we got Taurus. Oh, boy. All right, so let me keep shuffling because I didn't want that to come back out. But if it comes back out, then Creator, that is what it is. That is what it is. If it comes back out, then Creator, that is what it is. And I'm shuffling too. I'm shuffling to make sure if it does come back out, then that's what it is. Justice. It actually almost the same thing, but okay. So the card that I put back was the Nine of Swords because I've just taken that and putting that in because I didn't want it to come right back out because there are a lot of people that try to say, oh, she plays with the cards because there are dark workers that keep trying to do voodoo and I don't do voodoo. They're trying to force me to do it so that I can be at the same leverage as them. That's also something that makes you susceptible to black magic, voodoo, hoodoo, whatever you want to call it, is if you actually put your hands into it. So if you put your hands into Gossip, which is the highest form of dark magic, which is painting illusions with your mouth because the mouth can be dangerous. You are susceptible. This is why you shouldn't gossip and go in with dissemblers. People who try to destroy people. A lot of times you should just shut up. Okay, so we've got justice, which is almost the same to me because if you're up at night and you can't sleep, that's justice to someone. Because how dare you be able to sleep easy at night while you've caused me hell? While you tried to unearth me, while you tried to disconnect me from the divine, while you have tried to destroy me, how dare you get good sleep? So I suppose that justice is about the same as that Knight of Swords. The owl seeks the wisdom, and that was the wisdom that I just shared with you about the Nine of Swords and how somebody was sleeping quite good at night knowing that you couldn't. But now justice is here, and the tables have surely turned. So now we've got the world, which is completion and fulfillment. The world signifies fullness and therein, that things, now the table has everything on it. We have now the salt, but the pepper has entered the chat, okay? Now we've got all the condiments that we need to even this thing out. And if we'd like, we can add a little mustard, ketchup, relish, and everything else. But the real bee's knees is when you put that salt and the pepper on. This is why that is universal seasoning. Everybody in the world that uses seasoning will use salt and pepper. So yes, things are on the table. Everything is on the table. So the world is full and thereof, okay? So that is completion of the cycle. And we're going to get to the third card. We're in Taurus right now. We're in Taurus. Taurus is grounding. Taurus is the bully. Taurian is the end of April and the beginning of May. Taurus also is the, I want to say the neck. I think Taurus is the neck. I'm not sure, but I forget what body part it is. Taurus is something. I thought I wrote it down somewhere. I'm always writing something. I thought I wrote it down. I forget. I'll look it up later. But yeah. No, Taurus is. I wrote it down in my song. One of these darn songs. That's the good thing about writing things down. You can always go back and reference them. Oh, here it is. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Yeah, Taurus is the neck. I remember that. Taurus is the neck. Pardon me, my lip is dying. Okay, so Taurus, we have justice, which is 11. The world, which is 21, and the 8 of Swords. 19 plus 21. I like writing things down. So that's 40, which is 4. Definitely. Taurus is going on with your foundation. Someone's foundation is being restored while somebody else's is deteriorating. And this is what I got in the last place. And somebody is also binded to this decision. They're bounded to this result. This is somebody's fate right now. This timeline, this is what you got to go through. And you've got to play out this contract because you signed the contract. So now someone that was trying to bind is now binded by the very device that they were trying to bind you with. So they're now going to play out the contract as you walk away free. Congratulations, collective. The wall is down. All right, and that was a 4-0 at the end of the day. After 19 and 21 is gathered, that is 40. I don't know why I didn't just put that together, because the one just makes that a 20 and the other one would have went to the 19 and it still would have made it 40. But either way, we saw the numbers. Boom, 4. All right, Gemini, you're next in this ethereal deck. Oh boy, I know why I use it very sparingly, because of the colors when it comes on the screen. I have to do so many adjustments for you to actually see what it is, but it's a beautiful deck. So how dare I let you not see it? See, even death looks good over here. See, look, see, that's a 13. And that's the Grim Reaper. Okay, all right. I remember I used to watch Brennan, The Kids in Grimm, something like that. It was a cute little cartoon. Then we've got the Three of Cups. And then we've got the Ten of Swords. So I think the Ten of Swords is Gemini, if I'm not mistaken. Do not allow your authority to ruin others. And the Three of Cups. So now there's groups, okay? So now we've got a thing. And this is Gemini, and I do resonate with this. There's a death and transformation that just happened right in front of you. Right in front of me, telling you the truth. So I made some lies die when I got on today. And that is what somebody feared. And that was the energy when I got up. So there were a lot of mental attacks being sent to me upon me waking up and opening my eyes. There was somebody aiming for me because, you know, when somebody's intuitive, even a dark one that's intuitive, they scry all night because they're waiting for that moment where that thunder hits their heart and they're like, boom, it's about to happen. My worst fear is about to happen. They're about to put me on blast. And that's exactly what happened. I can hear it in my bad ear. Yeah, somebody doesn't like this. Ah, singing in a choir. Want to know else what happens when you put your voices together and uplift them? It's powerful. It becomes powerful. So there are voices that are reuniting due to this death and transformation. My truth freed a few people. There was some people that my truth imprisoned. There was some people that were imprisoned by the lies that were being able to be told. And now with a collective voice, we won't allow our authority to ruin others. You see, I have a responsibility on this platform. Even though I have things that I'd like to express, I still have a responsibility to be responsible to the things that I say, because I'm accountable for this here, because my name is on it. So you see, don't allow your authority to ruin others. And this is why I don't speak out of turn. If I don't know facts, I won't mention it. If I'm not sure, I don't say your name. But for the things that I know of in entirety and have proof of and know of and live through, I will say. And this is why you have to be very careful with your mouth. Just because you can say things about people doesn't mean that you should. That's why you should not allow your authority in anyone's life to ruin them because you feel as though you are powerful, because you feel as though you got there first, because you feel as though you are the leader of the group. Be careful of allowing your authority to ruin others. For example, I know a lot of people mad as shit that they didn't treat Cat Williams better. I know a lot of people mad as shit they didn't treat Dave Chappelle better. There's some people that should have treated the Brat better. There's some people that should have treated Fantasia Barrino better. Because we don't know what happens in the back end. We don't know the secrets people keep while telling other things to hold other people safe. Clive Davis is the biggest example of somebody being able to skate free while having so many skeletons. He was kept comfortable by way of leveraging. And there are small little subgroups that are just like that. And trickle down, there are common citizens that carry themselves in such a way. Sure, they don't aim to be as famous as that. But they aim to be just as powerful. They aim to be just as dark. They aim to be just as secretive. They aim to have a network just as powerful as that. So ironclad that no secret could escape. So this is why it's important for you not allow your moneymaker to ruin others, because the same can happen to you. So as this death and transformation comes forward, Gemini, which is 13, the Three of Cups. I forget what the Three of Cups is. Don't look. Forgetting, because I be trying to remember everything. It's Cancer. So we got Gemini, Cancer, and then we got the Ten of Swords, which is double Gemini and Cancer, which means We gonna talk and you gonna be in your feelings because whatever we say, we gonna stand on it. We ain't gonna talk for nothing. Most of the time, when a Gemini talks, when it is a North Node Gemini, they're not talking for validation. They're talking because something need to be said. And now that we've got the voices, now that we've had our death and transformation, the voices, people will be talking. There will be groups gathering because this information recalibrates a lot of realities. This paints a different picture for a lot of people. A lot of people have to change some plans that were going to happen from today on. Some are going to get the late notice. But they'll get the notice because people are talking like they've always been talking. That's the one thing you can guarantee is that people will talk. In the same way you use talk as a weapon, it's the same way talk can be used as a shield. Where once you use your talk as a shield, and I had to try to make my talk a weapon, now we've definitely switched spaces, now haven't we? Now my sword is sharp and you dropped your shield. You made your shield too big to carry. That's something we know about in war. See, when you study too long, you study wrong. Everybody knows your shield is supposed to be manageable and carryable. It's supposed to have a certain diameter. And the problem is, you went outside your diameter. You got too big for your britches. You went beyond the walls of reality, and you really started pulling on things. And what's more useless than a shield that is too big and too heavy? It makes you more susceptible to the enemy. Yeah, it might cover you in certain aspects. But if you should have to move, maneuver, pick up, and run and go, your shield will make you a sitting duck to the enemy. And the funny part about it, that is, you did it yourself. Nobody did it to you. You were shielded. It was a good fucking plan. I can tell you that. But you built your shield too damn big. And that's what happens with narcissists and arrogance. They get so puffed up on their own devices that they forget the strategy. They lose sight of what's going on. That's what happened when you built your shield. It got rounder and rounder and rounder, and then next thing you know, your eyes were covered and your shoulders were covered and you couldn't get your feet around because you built your shield so big. Now it does not even protect you. It exposes you. It acts as though it's a satellite dish broadcasting every bit of weakness you had because you felt like you had to over-prepare. Usually in a covert operation, they don't pick up a lot of people. They usually don't go beyond 8. They usually like to keep it to about 5 or 6, I tell you that. But the best covert operation is ran by one man. I watched a lot of movies coming up. Smoking aces, to be sure. So when you built your shield beyond yourself, and you added on 1 more, 2 more, 3 more, 5 more, 6 more, 7 more, 8 more, you became exposed. And I caught the reflection. I caught the glint off your shield. Is that pyrite that you built your shield with? That's fool's gold for those who don't know. What is it? Thermin and alum. One is amethyst, the other one is fool's gold. One says yes, one says no. I'm going to take it that the pyrite is the no, because it's fool's gold. You built your shield with fool's gold and you were wondering why Thermin came through with the yes. Indeed, that has been the Gemini reading. Don't allow your authority to ruin others. Now that the death and transformation has happened, people will talk. And you have to be sure of what you said doesn't come back and eat you as a double-edged sword would. Okay? All right. That was the Gemini, and boom, boom, boom. 10 plus 13 is 23, plus the 3 of cups is 26, which makes this 8, which is karma. Dharma for the best and dharma for the worst. No, dharma for the best and karma for the worst. I don't know who wants me to switch it around, because they would love things to be switched back around, but it's not happening no time soon. Ha ha ha. I feel like a little like Popeye, like I had my spinach and I just punched Bluto in the eye. I started off in Aries. That was at 151 or 152. You can go back to that timestamp. All right, let's go, Cancer. Eight of Wands. Spur to action, quick action. 6 of Swords, moving on to calmer waters. Hold up, giving Alex his food back. Whatever he's eating this. All right. So yeah. So 8 of Wands, 6 of Swords. Spur to action, fast action, and calmer water. So somebody's being asked to move to calmer water. Somebody's actually about to let it go, and they have nothing else to say. They're done. Somebody's packing up to go. They're like, it's nothing left for me to do here, and that is justice. That's the end card that came out. So we got 11 plus 8, which is 19, plus the 6 of Swords, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So that's 25, which is a 7, which is a complete cycle. And yeah, an uneven number is almost always great. 8 of Wands, definitely that spurty action. It's nothing for me to really say here in Cancer. Somebody's over it. Somebody wants to go. There's too much talk. There's too many things. People have to go their own way. And collective is going to just get on a boat, go on vacation. They're going to go get them something to eat, go take a nap, go drink some tea. They're going to go ground themselves, because this is justice. It's justice for you to be at ease, for you to get ready to regulate your nerves, and for those people who have been buzzing around so busily to start buzzing about other people's business. Okay, so now that the truth has come out, it's calmer waters. Calmer waters. This is going to help a lot of people move off. A lot of you that are following me, or following me for the inspiration to go and tell your truth, to be as honest as possible without faltering, without losing the confidence, without having the gall. And this is the thing. Some of us realized we were giving people great sleep while we were losing. We were losing rest. We were losing resources. We were losing friends. We were losing support. We were losing a lot of things while other people were getting everything that we stopped expecting. They were cutting us off from our own selves, and we were not seeing it. All we saw was the things that weren't coming from the outside. We didn't understand that it was something inside of us that was being cut off as well. They were making us suspicious. They were making us angry. They were making us paranoid. They were doing things to us on purpose, because if they could get us to isolate ourselves, people wouldn't question our disappearance. People wouldn't question why you took up a life of illicits. People wouldn't question why you ended up in that crazy house. People wouldn't question why they were managing your money and you wasn't. People wouldn't question the things that they were saying about you. But now that the truth is spoken for you, and the platform and the stage has been set for you to go in boldly and without falter, go through it from one end to the next, knowing that every word that you say brings you closer to a good night's sleep. Every lie that you unravel brings you closer to a vacation, even if it's just staying at home quietly. A lot of us have been replacing our peace with chaos because that's all we've known all our lives. But now there's a window of opportunity for you to go forward and find peace. Okay, so this is justice. Someone really wants to fuck me up right now, and you're all right. You're okay in your feelings. You're validated in your feelings. I will validate your feelings. I hope you feel like shit. You may want to fight, but I'm not going to fight you. No. You're going to jail. Because I ain't do nothing to you. No one told you to purport those lies. No one told you to be in my life. No one told you to type in my name. No one told you to use my info. Nobody told you to jump on the bandwagon. You did that of your own volition. So, pardon the collective. If we no longer want to put up with your shit, we're no longer kids, we're no longer teenagers, we're no longer helpless. And even if we feel helpless at times, we know not to ask y'all, because y'all liked it. How dare I give you another good night of sleep and rob myself of some rest? I be damned. I know you feel like that, collective. Why would I take your role in life? Willingly? When I already been forced into it? Subliminally? Now that I'm aware of how you tried to take my peace to make it yours, let me go about writing things, all right? So Cancer, we've got the 8 and the 6, which is 14, plus Justice, which is 11. That is 20. Hold up. Justice is 11. 14. That's 25, which is a 7, which is a complete cycle again. We've got a complete cycle. We are finishing these things, collective, so that we can get on, so that we can not grade so early, so that we can be here for our kids and our grandkids. Some of us want to live a lot longer, but we don't want lies cutting us short. All right, now we've got Leo. We've got the 5 of Cups in reverse. We've got the Tower. Okay. And we've got the Hierophant. What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay, so we've got the 5 of Cups in reverse. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? It's not the 5 of Pentacles. It's the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups, do not shut your eyes to new opportunities. It's time to forget the past and seize the opportunities to build a secure future. Mars and Scorpio, letting go of trauma, learning optimism. Yep. This is consistent. What do you want? What are you reaching for? What is up here that you're reaching for past me that I haven't given you? This is already on the table. But it's already on the table. Here, just take it. Anywho. 5 of Cups. Letting go of trauma, learning. Scorpio, optimism. Learning, optimism. So somebody's going to have to learn beyond this moment. Somebody's going to have to learn to look on the brighter side. Somebody's going to have to live off of their own resources, live off of their own work, live off of what they have built. Somebody doesn't like this. This is upside down. They've got to let go of the trauma. A lot of us have to let go of the trauma. We have to learn how to not live in abused spaces. We have to learn not to live in closed spaces, spaces that were erected to make us feel small and make other people feel big and powerful. We must let go of the trauma. So I believe that both South Node and North Node is going through a Tower moment. The Tower in the North Node, this means that you're going to need a lot of rest, a lot of restoration. You're going to need to talk to yourself a lot. You're going to need a journal. You're going to need to sit with yourself while you unravel all the feelings you had to hold on to while people were allowed to just play your life the way they wanted to while you were just a spectator. Get yourself together because now it's time to take the reins. The Hierophant is here, which is Taurus energy. That means you need to ground yourself. I know the tower means feels like you're falling to the ground, but once you get there, don't stay down, get back up. You're not dead. You just went through a part of life that a lot of us go through. We go through having our reputation and our stories being altered and retold, and people trying to tell your jokes or trying to make you seem away. But now that we've come through this, because we're adults, we can't live off of other people's opinions. We still have to get up. We still have to work. We still have to maintain ourselves. If you allow someone's fake idea of you to put a death to your living, then go ahead, you lay down. We're not staying with you. We're going to leave you. We're going to step over you. We're going to keep going. Because how dare you let that defeat you? Get up, dust it off. I know it's easier said than done. Some people need more support than others. Some people need something to read. Some people need something to express. Some people need something to help them learn what and how they express things. But at least try. Okay, so that's for the North Node towers, but for those South Node towers, there are people that are falling apart because they had held themselves together by telling lies about you, or at least believing the lies. The lies made them feel good. They made them feel confident. It made them feel like they had put more effort into life. But now, dealing with the truth, a lot of people are realizing they didn't handle their business. They don't look the way that they think they look. Some of those devout Christians are starting to be looked at as sinners and not saints. There are some people that are falling off of the pedestal that they stole from you, I, or somebody else. They don't like it. They don't like it that their crown is tilted, that they might have been jilted. They don't like it. They don't like it that someone no longer sees them the way that they wanted them to see them. Somebody woke up today and said, you know what? I just realized I don't really like you that much. Somebody just woke up and realized, you know, at first I didn't think I was trying to be nice to you because I love you, but I've seen how you could be a very bad person to people, and I don't like that about you. Somebody realized that maybe you're not too good around them kids. Somebody realized that maybe you're not good for the office. Maybe you're not good around the job because you are salacious. You do have bad encouragement. When you come, less productivity is here. Since I've hired you, we have a bunch of prostitutes and gigolos on staff. We don't actually have people that are productive. Somebody's starting to realize that this business ain't been getting handled because everything else under the sun has been getting handled. A lot of people's things, the way they see things, the public trust has been definitely mishandled by way of such deeds. By way of such people supporting such deeds with their jobs, with their access, with their resources. Some people are finding out exactly who mom and dad are when they go to work. They're not the upstanding citizens they train us to be. They're just like the criminals. It's just that they wear different clothes and they go different places to do their work. And sometimes they all often end up in the very same places together. They just don't want you to know that they still meet up. Someone made a point the other day. Why is it that you are worth all this money, but you are set up with low-level gangsters? I mean, straight up in the dump. There's a dynamic. There's a reason about that. So somebody has to let go of trauma as this tower approaches because they ain't been handling business as the Most High put forth for us. They have not been keeping their mouth out of things. They have not been keeping their hands off of things. They've been very carnal in nature. They've been very unforgiving. They've been very lustful. They've been very materialistic. They've been very, 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 very sneaky. They've had the quagmire. What she call it on court? I love this girl, Neffy. Yeah, she called it quagmire effect. Tricksters, always deceitful. That's not how the Most High wanted us to live. He wanted us to live in Christ consciousness. He didn't want us to lock ourselves into a situation that we would no doubt fail at. He wants us to lock ourselves into authenticity so that we can at least be faithful to ourselves, if not one another. That is Christ consciousness. Being faithful to the universe and God and yourself, your higher self, which is the higher self, which would not do lowly things that would put you out of the grace of God. I don't want to go to Jesus at the end and he say, I don't know you. I want him to describe my smile. Like, you see that one? She be laughing. She be smiling. I like that one. It's not fair to call upon the Father only in bad times, especially when he's provided you a lot of the good times you didn't even deserve. All right, Leo. All right, Leo, that was it. 4, Tower, the Hierophant. I forgot what the Tower was. Okay. My little pages. The Tower is 16. I don't know how I forget that. The Tower, the Hierophant is 5. 16 plus 5, that's 21 plus 5. Oh, so it's 10 plus... So it turned into 26, which turned into 8, which was karma and dharma. Be sure what side you're on. Bad karma is dharma. I mean, yeah, bad karma is karma, and good karma is dharma, okay? I don't know why I'm twisting that word up. Somebody really wants me to not speak. They want me to change this. They would like for this to change. All right, so there you go. We got Virgo coming up here. So we started off in Aries, Taurus, Gemini, we did Cancer, and that was Leo. Now we're going to get into Virgo. Virgo, the Hierophant came back out. Nope, I don't want these same cards again. I'm trying to shuffle a little more. I hate when the cards come right back out, not unless they were supposed to. So let me shuffle and see if they were. It does happen. Lightning does strike twice here. Okay, so that was a lot of cards. I'm not taking them. They were good cards too. So hopefully, in Virgo, that does happen again. So, the 6 of Wands, maybe that was just my hands then. The 6 of Wands comes here. The Artist, okay, so that was supposed to come out. Okay, Virgo. And then the Queen of Swords, okay, so that was what dropped out of my hand earlier. Okie dokie. So, we've got the 6 of Wands. Is today supposed to be hot? What's some crap? We got the 6 of Wands, which is Leo, Jupiter in Virgo. Basking in victory, acknowledging fame and pride. Okay, Virgo. Somebody has Virgo in their chart. And then we have the Artist. That I'm still in the ethereal deck using a different book. And I'm going to see if something lines up with the Artist, because the ethereal deck is kind of big. And it's not the same as the Star. Nope, so that's an extension. So I'm not going to place a number on the extension. So it's the 6 of Wands and the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords. So we only have the 6 here. The Queen of Swords is water and air, which is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Air is Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, okay? Air is communication, water is emotion. Having firm boundaries, clearly expressing your ideas. So, somebody is coming out. They're standing on it. You're going to hear it. And there's nothing you can say about it. It's my party. I can cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Hey, the Artist. I remember that happened to me at one of my daggone birthday parties. Like, my mother went out of her way to make me feel like a secondary at my own damn birthday party. Ugh. However, I do remember the outfit that I wore. It was fuchsia pink and it had orange and it had a vest attached to it. It was a nice set. So really, eat your heart out, Danny. You didn't have the outfit I had. Danny was Renee's child. And for some reason, my mother would always find somebody to put me up against, not realizing I still like me over them. So really, it was like for Nell and Milch. You didn't like you. I loved me. Whatever the hell happened to you over in Trinidad, you surely tried to bring that shit up over here. And my little American ass wasn't going for it. I be damned. The artist is the vessel of creation. This card signifies humankind and shows when you need to open to the knowledge that is available if you stop and set aside the distractions of the human condition and listen. I love the way that is worded. Visionary, interpreter, creation, and passionate. This is definitely in alignment. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, which means I'm going to be very expressive and I'm going to interpret the way I understand, and it is for you to deal with. Queen of Swords. And after you understand and hear what I got to say, I cut you off. And it's no malice, it's no hate, no love lost, no love gained. But I said what I said. And that's why the Queen of Swords is here. Water and air, clear communication and emotion. This is expression at its finest. All right, that was the Virgo reading. That went well. I like that. That was a North Node Virgo, because I know that South Node Virgo would like to come and throttle me right now because his mother might not be strong enough to do it. All right, so yeah. I can be a riot. Now, okay, so equal give and take to the universe. What you sow is definitely what you will reap. Somebody must have been planting rusty bottle caps. What'd you get? What'd you get? Behave. All right, Libra. The Fool. Hey, I don't look. I just flipped the cards. Okay, the Fool came out. Whatever that means to you. The Fool came out, and then the Devil. Yeah, I turned the V into a B, so I don't keep saying that name over and over again. Like Beetlejuice. I'd rather Beetlejuice come. All right, then we've got the Moon, because he was a spirit. He was one of those trickster spirits, and he basically, I guess he represented lust and some other things. And remember, Lydia Dietz, she joined the dark side, and she went on and decided to be weird with them. Don't know why I had to mention that, but yeah. Some of us, yeah, we ventured into the dark side not knowing that we were in the dark for the fact that we had so much light. And I think that's what Lydia represents, because they were morbid, they were materialistic. Her dad was very avoidant. He allowed the mother-in-law to basically lord over him and his money, and basically upset his daughter. And I don't suggest any parent move out of the way of a step parent or any in-laws and allow them to take precedence when it comes to a child that you love. And if you are a child and you see that your parent has indeed moved out of the way to protect another adult against your child self, you need to let somebody know about that as soon as possible. For some of us, we never get the chance. Some of us have, Masonic families, as Eastern Star families, and they know how to get things done unbeknownst to you. So, like I said, if you have any children, have that talk with them. If there is an adult that attempts to use you as a shield, pushing you into adult situations that you don't need to be in, let someone know. Screaming at the tops of your lungs, you could be saving your life and someone else's life. So I ain't gonna lie to you. Somebody's trying to get me to look a little wild on this screen because they don't like what I said, and they're trying to poke holes. They've been trying to poke holes in. But I've been saying this from the beginning. This will never change. It's all facts. And you could try to make me look crazy, but that'll be just a look. It won't be the truth. You actually are crazy. And you just happen to know how to put things together and make them look another way. This is what most crazy people do. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so the Fool, the Devil, and the Moon. Even the Devil on here looks a little different. Right? Right? It looks different. Okay, so let's get with it. This actually, all major arcana and Libra. All major arcana and Libra, what's going on with you? They have numbers, but it's something going on. So the Fool is 12. Let me make sure. The Fool is 12. The Devil is 15. And the Moon is 18. 12, 15, and 18. Well, so we got 27 plus 18. Hold on, let me write it down. Where my pencil go? Okay. So we got 27 plus 18. That's 15. And that's 45. 45 is 9. So somebody's praying. Somebody's hoping and a praying and a wishing and trying to manifestate. I don't know. Sometimes, your prayers will fall on deaf ears, especially when you were praying on people, especially when you were only turning to God after something you did to somebody turned back on you. Sometimes he's got to let you go through it so that you can learn not to do that, so that you don't have to keep calling, because you set a situation up and now you're dealing with the outcome of it. He can't save you from those things. He won't save you from those things because you've got free will. Nobody told you go over there. So the Fool, someone took a chance, the Devil. Someone's obsessed, addictive, shadow self, overindulgence, lot of something, whatever it is. The Moon, intuitively, matriarch. It could be matriarch. It could be family. It could be mother. It could be an aunt. It could be a sister. But it's usually feminine energy when it comes to the Moon. So someone knows that they've taken too many chances. They've overdone it. They've overindulged. They've done a big one. They've lived materialistic. They've lived very, very shallow lifestyle. They went deep on a shallow lifestyle. Wow. And now they have to sit with it. Knowing. And this is the thing. Knowing that you are the cause for your own downfall can be mentally debilitating. Way past the prison, a mental prison. This is paralyzing. Somebody might not be able to get out of the bed. Somebody might need some help because they've definitely put themselves in a very heavy situation. It is as if an elephant is about to sit square in the middle of their chest. This reality cannot be fought against. This is something that you have to go through. Someone signed a contract. They wrote a check that they but really didn't think that they would ever have to cash. They thought they were going to trick you into cashing it. And then they were going to call the police and have you picked up and locked up for fraud. Now they've got to eat that check and all the ink that's on it. Damn. Sucks to be you. Now, meanwhile, back at the ranch, we're going to get out of here. That's the Libra reading, and that's the way it went. And the number was 45, which is 9. Somebody's standing on a hope and a prayer. All they can do right now is pray. And, yeah. Right now, they're just being listened to. Because, I'm pretty sure if God gets involved, they ain't going to like it. So right now, they're going through it. Right now, they're in a situation, and we don't know the results. And I don't suggest nobody go look for nobody's karma, lest you want to change spots, okay? All right, there you go. Okay, let's do Scorpio. Look, I don't look for people's karma. Sometimes it happens in front of me, and I'm like, damn, I didn't want to see that. Shit. Because sometimes we tell ourselves, oh, yeah, I want to see that downfall. I want to see that this. I want to do that. But see, sometimes it's not good for us to see because that moment of gloat could get you in a problem. So you don't want to do that. A lot of times you really just want to turn your face if you see somebody going through something that you really do feel like they deserve. And you just want to just, thank God that it ain't you and you didn't choose that. Okay? And make a note in your mind to not do that either. Okay? So now we got Judgment in Cups. And this is Scorpio. And we've got the Chariot, which is fast moving. That is 7. That is 7. Judgment is 20. Ace of Cups is just what it is. It's a 1. And we've got the Chariot, which is 7. So we're going to turn the 7 into an 8 because that's fast moving. The Ace of Cups is an offer of a new beginning. It's an offer of a new life. But however, it still has the light and the dark to it, which means that you still have to be discerning going through. But now you are so skilled. You have been through so much that you could go and help everybody. You could tell anybody. You living your truth is the help. You don't actually have to go in your pocket, your bank, your house, your fridge, your coffers. You don't got to do nothing but live God's truth. But be a living, walking testimony. But be the proof to the pudding that there is a God. Look what they took me through, but look how I am living. Look what they wanted for me. They spoke all these things into me, but that ain't it. I am proof that God is real. You are proof that God is real. Us speaking today after so many people said that we wouldn't make it is proof that they ain't the program. It's us. We run the show. It's about us right now, okay? So, while they're under judgment, and so are we, because every time God weighs a heart, he weighs the other one too. Some are tethered, and they ain't never getting back into the face of the greatness. But look at you, collective. Moving on the east side. I finally got my piece of the pie. Yeah. That was very fitting. So judgment is here. And the Ace of Cups, your new beginning, your discernment. You see the eagle? You see the eagle has a very sharp eye, eagle eye. The very sharp eye and a very open hand, which means that you are open and welcome to the universe to accept the good things that are there, and you are ready to identify the things that are not good for you, and you are ready. You are now prepared to go forth for God's greatness. Go with the quickness, lest the way be shut. Amen. Look at that. That was confirmation. 20 plus the Ace of Cups, that is 21, plus 7, that is 28, which makes that what beautiful, beautiful, beautiful 10, which is wish fulfillment. Someone is ascending. Someone is sitting with the Creator right now. Isn't it so comfy? He is so comfortable. Ain't he so warm? He's so loving. He's so giving. He allows us to do this thing every other day. At night we wither, and at the day, in the opening of day, he allows us to sprout up with another promise. He gives us a promise. That is the rainbow. The rainbow is the promise of the covenant that he would always give us mercy and forgiveness if we knew how to come back to him. He ain't say no address. He ain't say no building. He said him. Use your discernment. Okay. So, that was Scorpio. Sagittarius. 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 I got my disco playing in my head right now because I'm thinking that I need to rewrite a part of it at the end. We've got the sun, which is male, which is masculine. Even though you've got this beautiful Jessica Rabbit looking woman here, it's always good to have a bit of eye candy when it's coming from the masculine. And she's got ginger red hair. Somebody has ginger red hair. There's a woman on this thing, but there's a man that has ginger red hair, or a man that like has a red beard. He's Muslim or something. He dyes it or something like that, or he uses the what's the ink? The Middle Eastern ink. Henna. Somebody uses henna and they get that red, they get the red beard, the red hair, the red roots. Somebody's Middle Eastern, okay? But this is the sun, which is masculine, which is father, which can also be business as well. Okay, so take what resonate. It might be a woman in business or a family that has a business So sometimes it comes up mixed like that, okay, when it comes to the sun. But sun is usually masculine, man, father energy, okay? So then we've got the Page of Pentacles, the father figure, okay? We've got the Page of Pentacles and we've got the Three of Cups. The sun represents, in this here deck, which is 19. The sun is 19, okay? The Page of Pentacles is not a number. That is just a minor arcana. That's 19. Let me see. I see 20, 21, 20. Judgment, the sun. The sun. The sun shines brightly on the things that feel good, bring pleasure to our innermost self. The light of the sun illuminates all that we have to hold gratitude for and reminds us to enjoy life. We become a shining beacon for others when we are confident and appreciative. This light becomes an example of how blissful life can be. Envision the joys this card highlights in your life. This card is a gentle reminder that you yourself bring light and joy to others. Honor the light within yourself. Confidence, joy, and success. In the reverse is selfishness, sadness, depression, and egotistical. Let's find out. So now we've got Page of Pentacles after that. Let me use my other book. Yikes, I can't get rid of that page. Page of Pentacles. That boy's already outside. Oh, it's the other way around. Page of Pentacles. Stay grounded, loyal, and responsible. Take the chances and Stay grounded, loyal, and responsible. Take your chances and grab the opportunities. Without effort, you can't gain anything. Being consistent, getting your hands dirty. So there's a male energy that's trying to remain consistent and put their hands, they're trying to put their hands to it. It's somebody that's trying to be direct, okay? Somebody wants to be more direct. Hold up, let me see the sun again. While somebody's trying to be more direct, I'm trying to figure out this sun situation in conjunction to... Also, somebody's working really hard to keep themselves free. They're holding on to optimism, even if they have to actually do something themselves. Somebody was delegating, somebody was speaking orders, and now they got to actually come out of the trenches. They actually got to jump off the porch and get their hands a little dirty. So the Three of Cups meaning somebody's actually going to enter the chat. Somebody's going to do some direct work, some damage control, so to speak. Three of Cups, okay? We got the Three of Cups. Somebody's about to do some damage control. Then we got Cancer. All right, I told you it's male energy. So then you mean to tell me that that's who you picture yourself to be? There's a male that when he's into the carnal situation, the tango, whatever, they're picturing themselves as a woman. Whether they sleeping with a man or a woman, they picture themselves as the woman. I don't know if they wanted you to know that, but there's somebody who's operating. Maybe they don't tell people that they would like to be a woman, or they would like the essence of a woman. They would like the access of a woman. They would like the power of a woman. They would like the influence of a woman. So when they're out doing things, they're envisioning them being the baddest bitch ever. Somebody boyfriend a bad bitch. And they're the talk of the town. Night, night, cry, baby. Night, night. Night, night, cry, baby. I told him, hell no, he a crybaby. Megan, why you give me these knees? Compose yourself. Oh, my kidding. That shit is funny. All right, nice. 22. Somebody's foundation is messed up by the very revelation that he's a bad bitch. You go ahead. Go on over with Saucy Santana. He's going to need some support right now. your kids. I couldn't help it, okay? I know you gotta go, okay? We gotta get out of here. Okay, Sagittarius? Princes? Besties? No. All right, so let's get out of there. That's 22. So somebody's foundation has been a little messed up. Take what resonates. I'm rising. And this is Sagittarius. And if this is a female that operates in the masculine patriarchy, somebody's about to find out how you don't feel so feminine. You are really, really masculine. You're just about DL. You're spiritually already over there. You just physically haven't figured out how to make that work because you really want to be a pimp. There's a girl that wants to be a pimp really bad, so bad that she's willing to act just like men in order to make women feel weak to whatever she's got going on. And people are talking about it. So for the man that's a baddie, and for the woman who wants to be a daddy, sadly, y'all is confused. All right, let's get on out of there. All right, we can go to the Capricorn and come on and put it up. It's like the weather. We may get some rain or we may not. Only I know that I just told your ass a lie. I made like I can predict the weather, took the job, got paid, and I ain't never right on my predictions. Somebody is with a weatherman. They're with somebody who says a bunch of stuff and they don't know if it's right or not until shit happens. Somebody's got a shaky foundation. All right, so let's get on over to Cap and let's peace out. We are going to peace out with Pisces. We started in Aries. Let's get over to Cap. We are at 2:56 on the timer. 4 of Pentacles. It is now 6:59 on the dot. So 7 o'clock is right there. 4 of Pentacles. That can be lust. That can be greed. That can also be holding your finances close to your chest so that nobody knows. Just keeping everybody out of your business. Then you've got the 2 of Cups. There's an offer or a union. Something about harmony. Then we've got the 7 of Swords. Someone's trying to steal. That's Aquarian energy. We got the 2 of Swords. We've got the 4 of Pentacles. Let's find out what's going on here. No cups. No, 2 of Cups. We do got cups. 2 cups. Let's see. The 4 of Pentacles is usually financial. Financial stability, financial integrity, selfishness, or frugality. Okay? Sometimes it's saving as well. We do the new. So, the 4 of Pentacles, circumstances might turn you into an overly possessive or greedy person who ensures the security of his wealth in any way. Mend your behavior before it gets too late. That is the sun in Capricorn, and that is a Capricorn energy. Seeking security, finding financial stability, being more generous or avoiding reckless behavior. Okay? That was in the reverse, the last thing I said, okay? So, the 4 of Pentacles, the 2 of Cups. Let's read the 2 of Cups to find out what we're dealing with. And the 2 of Cups to this is Cancer. Express your feelings to those who you hold in your heart. Let them know that you care and think about them. Finding love, mutual partnership. Somebody dating for money. That's the gigolo. I know it was going to shake out. I just didn't know who it was. So somebody with Capricorn, Cancer, and Aquarius energy is a dang gigolo. They're looking for financial security in whatever union that they get into, and then they're looking to steal. This person is looking to monkey branch from one relationship to the next in order to survive. What I tell you, there are some people who look like they got it only because they took it from the last person they were with. And if they do their timing right, they can take enough to suffice themselves and actually go be with the person that they really want to be with. But they have the transition smoothly with everybody's money into that situation. Somebody's taking everybody for everything that they got so that they can actually get into the union that they want. That's their end goal, to build themselves up so socially that eventually they get to the person that they actually can love. The problem with that is, after you do so many people dirty like this over their money, the person that you end up with is going to be your karma. So be careful in the paths you take in order to get your wish fulfillment. The very end game might be your very end game. Like that wordplay? I did too. Okay, so yeah. So we've got the 2 of cups with the 7 of swords with the 4. Let's put the 4 with the 2. Make that a 6 and a 7. That's 13. Death and transformation. Maybe somebody's trying to learn not to be like this, not to be a gold digger when they go into relationships, because that's more than likely going to leave it, get you left. And somebody's probably realizing that they were with the gold digger. You weren't the last stop. You just was a pit stop. And whatever happened made that person have to stay longer than they wanted to. Or that person left before they got you all the way broke, because you were starting to figure them out. And they weren't able to successfully monkey. Or this person actually did steal all your money, and now you're figuring out that they're gone, and the next person that they got, they're going to marry that person because that's the person they actually wanted. It's just that they don't know that that person is going to screw them royally in the end. Be quiet. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. What you want, Seggy? Hold up. Be right back. That's also projection. You starting to distract me is also a projection. You only do it when I'm on this screen, because usually I spend a couple minutes by myself and you don't pay me no mind. So be aware that your children can be used in the projection. Sometimes your kid isn't paying you any mind, but because somebody wants you to be distracted, sometimes the projection will hit your kid in just the way. Not that they're speaking and saying, oh, go distract mommy. No, it's just a feeling, and your child will start getting up and making all sorts of things happen around you. And you're like, hold up, this child was just normal. This child was just calm. This child was paying me no mind prior to me doing this. Well, that is the spirit of distraction. Some people want your nerves so fired up that you can't figure out which way is up. And sometimes your kids are used as those devices, especially if they can't directly, energetically project their energy or their feelings or whatever they're visualizing to you. So they'll visualize it to your kid, and your kid, if you have a sensitive kid, they will pick up on it and they will start to act out in ways. Sometimes I use exactly what he's doing to know exactly what's going on, because I know it's not him, because a moment ago he wasn't like that. So that's something important for someone to know. Sometimes your kids come unhinged at the most inconvenient times is because someone is projecting into your energy and deciding that they would like chaos for you, as opposed to that peaceful way that you do things or a smile. They would prefer you be ready to pull all your hair out from the root, damaged follicles, that sort of thing. Okay, so be aware of somebody trying to steal your happiness, buy your money, financials, maybe make you overeat, make you overspend, make you buy things that are unuseful, make you break things of your own, make your kids break things. Somebody tried to either take it physically or just tried to make you drain yourself so that they can either steal your energy or steal your money so that they can go give the energy and the likeness everywhere else but where you are, because they steal. Capricorn, Cancer, and Aquarius energy. This was indeed the Capricorn reading. Okay, take what resonates. 7 2 4 plus 2 plus 7 13. Death and transformation. Someone is now aware of their role they played in the gold digger gigolo scheme. Uh-oh. The 4 of swords just came out. Okay, Aquarius, we're ready for you. The last one will be Pisces, and that will not be the least, but it will be the last, all right? It ain't gotta be bitter, but it gotta end. You ain't gotta be with her and not a friend. Hey, hey, you ain't gotta be bitter, but it gotta end. You ain't gotta be with her and not a friend. Hey, hey. You like that? I just made that up. Kind of catchy. Okay, so 4 swords, the star. Ooh, that's 17. 4 plus 17. That makes that. Obviously, it makes that 21. Why am I talking like Lumpy Space Princess? Adventure time. The moon. Okay, so we've got 18 coming out. Ooh. Female mother, a mother figure, cousin, female cousin, sister, aunt, a female, family. It doesn't have to be a female if it's family, okay? When it comes to the moon. When it comes to the sun, that extra would be business and coworkers. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. The moon is usually what would be in-house. The sun is what usually would be coming from outside in, the extended, okay? So that's why I said family. I mean, that's why I said business and coworkers for the sun, and family dynamics, family, and like your soul tribe for the family. Okay, so 4 of wands for the moon. I mean, 4 of swords, the star, the moon. So for the star, 21, 18 plus 21. Didn't we add this today? 21 plus 18. We've been adding a lot of stuff. 9, 3, 39, which is 12. All going to 12, okay? Creator, what's going on? 4 of swords, the star, the moon. This book is lengthy when it comes to stuff. Okay, 4 swords. My ears, like I'm getting Swimming's ear right now. Somebody's trying to give me an energetic earful, and I ain't listening. So you might as well shut up. Okay, so we got Jupiter and Libra. Finding time to rest, contemplating the future. 4 of swords and Libra. It's Jupiter and Libra, okay? Bit standoffish. Kind of robotical. Kind of mechanical. Now, you know, when it comes to air signs, we can be a bit mechanical. We can be a bit cold, depending on, because we're very flexible, okay? And being as though Libra is a scale, it is definitely amiable and it's impressionable, okay? Libra can be impressed upon, okay? Because they don't like to make decisions, so they can be impressed upon. So the star is here, and that's main character energy. Not only is that might be main character energy, but it also just says that you are here for a reason. You have a purpose. You are here to create. You are here to express. Let me make sure. Once open yourself up to new hopes and possibilities for receiving the blessings sent by the universe and embrace success. That is Aquarius energy, feeling renewed, being inspired. Okay, so this is how you're feeling, or this is how you should feel. This is Aquarius. Ain't that beautiful? It's beautiful when the cards align with the reading. Aquarius, feeling renewed. Somebody's still trying to bop me. They're trying to bippity bop me. You're bippity bopping yourself. I want you to know that. Okay, so the star and the moon. +17 plus 17 would be 34, so that would be 35 with the 18. And then the 4 would make that 39, which we just added, would make that 12. Okay, so I did that in my head too. I'm just going to read the moon real quick because I pretty much got it. Developing intuition, listening to your dreams. Sounds good. So somebody needs to rest up because the stage is all yours. It's time for you to express yourself. It's time for you to live the life that you've always wanted to live. It's time for you to build your dreams. It's time for you to bring your dreams into fruition. The only person in your way is you. The only reason why you felt as though there was so many blockages is because they did so much dirt digging. They put so much lies, so much deceit in the energy, It was stagnating. It was trying to suffocate you. The very energy that you had not even known that was out there was attempting to fold you by way of pressure. Everyone around you was going to keep giving you these awkward stares until eventually you felt some kind of way and lost your confidence. They wanted you to shut up and disappear into yourself. They wanted you to be just like the ostrich with your head in the sand, and the only one that can explain is them. They wanted to be the ones to tell why your head was in the sand. And if your head never came out of the sand, they wanted to explain that too, and they wanted it to be your fault. However, you're out of there. You're breathing now. It's time for you to rest and restore. It's time for you to heal. It's time for you to listen to some frequencies. It's time for you to change your environment. It's time for you to cut them off. It's time for you to change your number, maybe even your address, your email, definitely. It's time for you to block some people out. Physically, mentally, spiritually. It's time for you to change churches. It's time for you to change banks. It's time for you to change things so that you can feel free and confident with a fresh palate. And for some of us, we ain't that easily moved. We're going to stay where we are. And we're going to rebuild our reputation right here in your face. And we're not going to hide anything. And we're going to dare you to come back and try that shit again. And that was the Aquarius energy, because you walk with the creator. If you want to change your environment, you do that. But if you want to make your environment your own, you're going to have to stand. You're going to have to stand tall. And you got to know that the same people in that same environment are going to try you again. They're going to try to see if they can get back in. They're going to try to see if you're still the same person. And you know what? You've been doing a lot of heavy lifting, so hopefully you got the muscle that you need. All right? Don't let that go over your head. Love you. All right, so let's get over to Pisces, the last but not least, but the leastest it is. 311 is right here on the thing in front of me. I got 713 right there on the clock, and I see 30 and 37, boom, when it comes to the chat. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Whatever it is, as long as I can see, it's beautiful. I guess when it comes to gratitude, that is my longitude and my latitude. Okay? All right. So we've got the Ace of Wands, which is pointing to a new, fresh beginning. Hey. Ooh. Hey. Ooh. I need to go to a steppers party. I know I could do it. That footwork, it'd be fancy, baby. It'd be, woo. Okay. Hold on. Let me chill out. Because I am Cisco's daughter. Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. Da, 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 da. He drink whiskey, Pancho drink his wine. Do, 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 do. Hey, somebody's a partier. Okay, so we got an Ace of Wands, which is a new beginning. Somebody feeling fresh. They like their cologne. They like how they ring sing. They like that, and they like everything about themselves. It's just that lately they've been forced to pay attention to things that really shouldn't have mattered in the first place. Okay, somebody really, really does like themselves, and don't be careful. This Gemini, don't allow your authority to ruin others, because now that we've taken place. And we are now the people that people are listening to. We have to be careful not to become the people that we just escaped. Now that's curious. You gotta, when people run around speaking so bad of you, it is very tempting to run around and do the same exact campaign that they did to you. But then that would make you a hypocrite, right? So you gotta be easy. Stick to the truth. Don't tell no lies. Don't go into no gossip. Don't get into no big dissertation about this, that, and the third, when you know you could be easily swayed into saying some things that can put you in a situation. So be easy, breezy. Being a hypocrite is very easy. So remember to check yourself and don't wreck yourself when it comes to that. Do not allow your authority to ruin others. The same way that person got access to LexisNexis and got access to background checks is the same way you could get that same access and mess around and make that same mistake. So be careful of the mistakes from the past coming through into your future. Especially when the mistakes weren't yours. Don't get no point to prove. You don't have to become the bully just because somebody bullied you. I don't know who needs to hear that. And then we've got the moon coming out. There's a lot of intuition coming out. There's a lot of family coming out. This is a lot of family coming out. So someone's intuition is letting them know that a lot of the situation, a lot of the people that they're going to have to move away from, lest they start damaging themselves for trying to prove themselves, it's going to be a lot of the people that you are already familiar with. A lot of family, okay? A lot of people directly related to you. They're going to be the ones that you're going to have the que sera to, because they got close to you to learn your information, and they're the reason why you look crazy. If you should ever sit by them again, they'll get an opportunity to paint a bad picture about you, because why would you go sit with somebody who tried to destroy you before? That's what I had to learn. I had to realize that this is the reason why people didn't believe me, because I would keep returning back to the same people that I was complaining about. Even though I was telling the truth, it did look a little weird that I kept going back over there when I said I hate that lady. But I thought I was being loyal to my mom. Right, yeah. I was likened to a dog. And that's why I say loyalty is a dog. So you be easy. Who you play the damn dog for? Especially if they kick the dog. They spit on a dog. They don't feed the dog. They starve the dog. Everybody shouldn't have a dog. All right, Pisces, let me get on out of here. Intuitively, we know what's going on. New beginnings for us all, collective. Be careful not becoming the people who tried to ruin you. Okay, it's very hard to say, but it's easier to do. It really is easier to do. You just got to put these people away and don't do the things that you didn't do in the first place. Okay, so intuitively, we all know, and intuitively, I'm hoping that we're all doing the best we can for the high collectives, so that we could be real role models for the kids who've actually already learned how to be hypocrites through Roblox and Sims and Minecraft and all that, because hey, there are sick adults behind those screens too. All right, so you guys have a great Sunday. Happy worship for anyone who's headed out, who's already ready for the 8 o'clock service. You get it in, all right? Just be sure that those altars aren't already desecrated, because what'd you go to that building for? Don't come for me, because Kojic came for you. Bye-bye.